everyone, and I hope you guys can hear me. Sorry, this is going to be, my first solo stream. Usually, I like to have, a couple people to help bounce off of. You know how sometimes my audio goes out, or my stupid thing freezes, or all that kind of chaos. However, I had been wanting to do and start this new podcast format called like the My Fellow Americans podcast, and I wanted it to be something where we could talk about important historical things. I really wanted it to be things like we could talk about, the Wild West, important historical, cultural figures, just kind of trying to foster up some really goodwill and, just good feelings about America, because this is our country. This is the only one that we have, and again, this is directed to my Americans, you guys. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're a Libertarian. Sorry, I'm getting a little choked up right now, because what I think just happened was awful. What has happened is disgusting. I think there is nothing more horrible. When I think about someone trying to usurp, the Americans' right to choose. We have a right to choose our president, and I don't know what's going to happen in this election. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you if Trump would win. I can't tell you if Biden will win. I can't tell you if they're going to swap out Biden for Newsom, because I have heard that rumor. I don't know. But what I do know is wrong is that you don't go and try to assassinate, a presidential candidate. I do know that we should have a rule of law, and we should have a voice. I don't. That's why, with the voter fraud thing, what upsets me the most is voter fraud. I don't care if, let's say, I don't care if there were enough votes for Biden to win. That's fine. If that was what the Americans voted for, that was how our electoral college, if that was how it was going to be, then that's how it's going to be. Because, again, you're Americans. You have the right to pick. But what you don't have the right to do is commit fraud. You don't have the right to take out a candidate. And I'm going to tell you guys, and I know that, like I said, I addressed earlier, I don't care where you sit on the political spectrum, for these streams. And I really don't, because I do know that I do have some Democrats here. I have some liberals here. I do have some conservatives, some Republicans. I have some libertarians. I have, what do they call the anarcho-capitalists? I know I have those people too here. I know I have quite a few different people on the political spectrum here. But I do want to address something that I am seeing going on in media. And again, this is what is also just totally frightening. Now, I think, since this initially happened, it has gone a little better. The headlines have actually been a little bit more accurate. But let's go ahead and look at some of the original ones that I had was lucky enough to screenshot here. So again, sorry guys, I know it's going to take just a little bit here as I try to figure all this out. Okay, so here we go. So this was a screenshot I took, and I had looked up what was going on originally. And so here we go. Let's see if I can pull this up. Okay, so yeah, you guys can read the post. Gunshots. So this is Sky News, which I believe is like a UK. It sounds like it's a UK news thing. Now, what was interesting was when I originally looked this up, because I had seen it from this guy. I don't know if anybody's on Twitter, but go follow him. He's really awesome. Let's see, there we go. That's his handle. Go give him a follow. Because he's really cool and, smart and, at least, speaks the truth here. And I actually got to find out through a tweet. So that's weird, because I was already on my phone looking at the news, and for some reason it wasn't popping up on my phone. I would think that it would kind of show up, at some point. And instead of getting all these, and I know that there's algorithms and they're going to go towards the things that you like. But I'll tell you guys this, I am far from being a Democrat liberal. And for some reason, all that, news will pop up in my phone. So why the heck didn't this pop up when it happened? So here we go. So anyway, so I believe this is like a UK news station. So we got gunshots, and I'm going to say words, and I know YouTube's going to go, oh, you can't say that. Well, you know what? Screw you, YouTube. You know what? Screw you, because yes, I can. And if you're going to go and try to get this and try to censor my First Amendment rights, then you know what? Screw you. Screw you, because I'm going to talk, and I'm going to say what I need to say and what should be said and what people need to hear. And if that means only 5 people get to hear this and then it gets deleted, then that's fine. Because at least someone got to hear. At least, people need to hear. People need to talk. And you know what? Forget it. I'm tired of being, scared of what these stupid social media things are going to do. I don't say anything insane. I don't say anything, that is just so beyond the pale. I really advocate for a lot of, what I believe and what I know our country was centered on, our personal rights and freedoms. I advocate on that. So I'm not going to let these big tech, places try to censor me because they don't like what I say. Fine, I'll create another account. People just keep creating accounts. That's all we'll do. And yeah, we won't get as, have as big a following as Facebook. I only got a handful of followers, and I love you guys for being my little handful of followers, and I guess I know we've decided to call you guys happy little weirdos, but, I think today we're going to be angry little patriots, my angry little patriots. But anyway, so back to this, whatever. Come and find me again. I'll make another thing. And if they ban that one, I'll do it again. And that's how we need to start being. I'll move to Rumble. I already have a Rumble set up. I'll go and start over there, start fresh. I don't care, whatever needs to be done, because we need to talk. We need to have these conversations. These are important. And we can't be like, oh, here, let me silence your language. Let me silence your language for this. Because I know that you guys had naked yoga. Why don't you guys do anything about getting that? That to me seems like it should break some terms there. And I have to get graphic here, but I also heard that there was like a anal bleaching video. And that was something like, oh, that was okay because both of those are educational. But you can't talk about stuff like this? I don't think so. You can't talk about this stuff. You can't talk about, women's sex-based rights. You can't talk about, no, forget it. I'm done. I'm done doing that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about things. So anyway, sorry for that mini rant within the rant, but let's get back to this. So anyways, this is the UK thing. So, they at least have the cojones to say what, at least, I understand we got to do alleged. Sometimes you got to do alleged, or like they said, reportedly. But yeah, that is important to say, because it's not, let's see. So then we got Fox News, gunfire breaks out. We got the Telegram, another UK news station, Donald Trump speed shooting. So, and then, look, here we go. So this is, I don't know if you can see, let me see if I could scroll up on here. This is, oh gosh, sorry guys. It's a little blurry, but it's supposed to be, I think, what is that? The Peacock, is that NBC? I think NBC, right? Let me just check. I'm pretty sure the Peacock is the NBC logo, but I do want to just double check. Yep, yeah, it's an NBC. Okay, so there's NBC. Donald Trump whisked off stage with bloody ear after loud noises rang through. Loud noises. I didn't know that loud noises can create a bloody ear. That's news to me. Sorry, that had been put over, but that's news to me. I mean, okay, I'm sorry, guys. I do know that there's some stuff like that, but this is not like that kind of thing. They're trying to hide. And then here's the USA. Trump removed from stage by Secret Service after loud noises startled former president. Now, I will give them credit within this. In the article, if you're not a headline reader, you will see where they do talk about there being possibly or alleged gunshots. Why didn't you put it in the title? Because I'll tell you guys right now, if this was a Democratic nominee, or a presidential candidate, whatever, it would be called an assassination. It would be rightly so called an assassination attempt, because that's what it was. And not only that, okay. So again, I understand that you have to do it. So we'll say, okay, there would at least be something that says, actually, no. If it was the Democratic thing, they would flat out say this is an assassination attempt, and they wouldn't care that they were wrong. I'm sorry, I don't want to say that they're wrong. They wouldn't care that they didn't put allege, and that's what I meant to say. They wouldn't care that they didn't allege it. Even though technically right now you're supposed to allege it, They wouldn't care that they wouldn't put in alleged assassination attempt against a Democratic candidate, whatever. They would say full out assassination attempt, and they wouldn't try to hide behind, we have to be careful what we put out there. They wouldn't care. They put it up because not only they put that, they would go ahead, they would, if there was a Republican sitting president at the time, they would want him to rightly, again, like I've said in this tweet, they would want them to rightly so condemn the actions of whatever psychopath did this. They would want those actions condemned, but they would also condemn the rest of us who had nothing to do with this assassination. And I don't think that's right. Because again, I don't believe whoever did this to Trump, I don't believe we should condemn an entire group. We shouldn't go and condemn like, oh my gosh, you don't like Trump, let's condemn all the people who don't like Trump. Because, I believe most people who aren't fond of Trump are psychopaths like this. You're not going to do something insane like this. And I would hope most of the people who don't like Trump also wouldn't support something like this. Because we should, and we do have the right, again, to pick our candidate, our presidential candidate. We have the right to vote for who we're going to vote for. And we don't get to, California gets to go and tell people, no, we don't like that. So, we want this person. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay. And I'm so sick of that, and that's the other thing. One day, hopefully we'll get back to the Electoral College because that is important. And people shouldn't be ruled by my state. My state is Kansas. I love my state. I love California, and what it used to stand for and how it came to be. I'm disgusted with how it is now. And I would love to see it become great again. I would love to see California become, great and productive and, just a wonderful state to be in. But now it's a dumpster fire. And I don't think my dumpster fire of a state has the right to dictate to the other states who we're going to go pick. And I know that they try to do so anyway. So there'll be an electoral, of course, right now you're getting a preview of some of the other rants that we'll be having on this channel. Actually. But anyway, sorry, back to this. So, yeah. So, Trump removed from the stage after loud noises. Yeah, okay. They wouldn't be saying that. They would not be saying it if it were. That's why I'm so sick of this mainstream media BS. And I will say here for Fox, if Fox pulled that, let's say Fox pulled that with the Democratic, and I wouldn't like that either. I would not like that. I would find it just as hypocritical and disgusting because I don't like the double standards. I do not like this. Oh, you don't have to agree with the left. You don't have to agree with the right. We can have a lot of disagreements. We can be biased. I don't care if you're biased, but you know what? When something's right and when something's wrong, like murder, I believe murder is wrong. I believe assassination on a presidential candidate because you don't like the person. What is wrong with you guys? And I don't mean you guys I'm talking about specifically to the psychopaths who are going to be okay with this. To the psychopaths that would be okay with it on either side. Any psychopath that would be okay with it on either side. What is wrong with you? So, anyways, again, going back to this is like I've said on Discord and Twitter, this is an impromptu discussion. So anyway, so back to this. Yeah, so this is bull. And I'm so sick of seeing this in the media. I'm just tired of it. I'm so tired of it. I can't even, it's just disgusting. So anyway, so let's go back to the Donald Trump thing. So here we go. 45th president. Okay. Yeah. So hopefully I think that let's see. So I'm happy to see. So now they're starting to, find their brass and report what actually is going on. Apparently ABC is still having trouble, but hopefully they've updated this. And so as you can see, this is like from 49 minutes ago, as being heard. Yeah. We know what the bang is, at least have the, be honest, intellectually honest to say alleged gunfire shots, because that's what it is. I understand you want to allege because, who knows? I don't know. Here goes. Yeah. Multiple shots, rushed off, that rally after sound. Yeah. So, so we're finally seeing, okay, they, and again, The Guardian, that's another, UK one. So what is that? What does that say? That's what else disgusts me. How come the UK is being more, intellectually honest here with what happened than, I don't know, the American news. So I don't trust them. I really just stopped trusting a lot of these, you know, things. Okay, so let's see. I think one of these has a video, and I'm sure if you go and click on the video, it's probably going to have something stupid where they're like, "Oh, you can't," you know. Let's see. Let's see. Just checking to see if there's a quick little video, but I'm sure that they're going to try to do their little stupid. Here we go. Oh, yeah, Trump's speech interrupted by Secret Service. What is that, CNN? What is that statement? Because again, like I said, if this was a Democratic thing, this was a Democratic candidate, they would not be saying, oh, the speech was interrupted. Oh, there was an incident. It would be flat out, like I said, it wouldn't even be alleging. They would just be flat out stating. And let's say, because that is why you allege, I know I've already talked about this, but you know what? You guys are used to me circling back and saying the same thing. So if you're new here, you're just going to have to get used to it, or, you know, I guess, you know, thanks for stopping by. But, yeah. So again, it would be totally, they would say alleged. I'm sorry, they wouldn't even say alleged. And yes, you would say alleged because it's one of those things where you want to make sure until something's certain, until someone's convicted. And, you know, you just want to do those kind of things. It's just like a CYA a little bit. But they would not be doing that. I guess that's on the point I'm trying to drive home, is they wouldn't even be doing that. They wouldn't even be putting the alleged in if it was a Democratic candidate. They would just flat out be saying it. And again, and they would be using that as an opportunity to, you know, oh, I don't know, say how god awful Republicans and conservatives are. They're like the devil. That's what they would be using it for. And by the way, this is not something to use that on the Democrats. I don't believe that we should be going around and saying, oh, well, the Democrats are, because I'm hoping, I still have hope that most Democrats would see this and would be shocked and disgusted, going, well, what is wrong with you guys? Well, like, again, and by you guys, I'm talking about specifically the people that either condone this or would do this or did this, you know? And again, let me pull this up. Yeah, the man's bleeding. So, yeah, so, you know, you just love the guy on that one. Says he's fine. I know he said he's fine. I saw like there's a fist bump he did after the shooting, but let's see. I want to see if I can see the video so you guys can kind of see. And then I have to show you guys Biden's response to, hopefully he might, and I don't know, actually, since he has issues here stringing a sentence together, maybe it was okay that he just did a one word thing, I guess. So hold on, let me see if I can find it again. I don't know why I always have issues here. Okay, let's see. Let me see. Oh, I don't have sound, guys. Okay, I don't have sound, so I forgot, I can't show you. Yes, if you go and watch the video, please go watch the video. You need to go watch the video of it. Watch it for yourself. You know, I want to try to find where it had Biden's statement on here. So we're just going to go ahead and scroll a little bit till I can find it. Let's see. But yes, if you watch the video, you know, he hears the sound, he ducks. Yeah, you see, look at that. There's veterans in the background. So to me, if anybody ever knew what gunfire sounded like, it'd be a veteran. So, you know, you hear them, there's like this guy in the background, you hear them yell out in the background to everybody duck, you know, geez. And I hope he pulls, let's see if I can find it. We'll do Biden's statement. See where his is. Oh yeah, okay, who cares? Okay. There was something. Shoot, sorry guys. I want to try to find it because he did make a statement somewhere. And again, sorry guys. Okay, so you can kind of see where he ducked. Secret Service got him. People ducked in the background. You know, so there is. So there we go. Yeah, he gets. I'm just I'm just disgusted. And oh, there was the stupid thing. God, I swear. You know, that's why I like to have, you know, my panelists. They usually are really great and helping me and trying to get all this stuff going. So where is the news article? I'm so sick of all these stupid ads. Okay, well, where's the article? Let me see if I can find it on my phone. So everybody sit tight, stare at that for a second while I look up this. Where is it? So yeah, I do like, and that's the other thing. They got his ear. Do you close? Like, I don't think people realize how insane that is. Oh, I think that's what was happening. Okay, so you guys, if you guys find it, let me know. But I do know that I believe they asked him if he knew about this, and he said no. Like, oh, did you know this happened? And he's just like, no. So you know what? I guess there we go. That's a full word. That's a full sentence for him. So I should give him some props there. Here we go. Let's see if they have anything else. So this is current. Let's see. Say from after what sounded like, again, they wouldn't even be posting it like that. That their parent, okay, AP, looks like AP kind of found their nads a little bit here. NBC still struggling to find theirs. 9 minutes later, 9 minutes ago, they're still struggling to find their nads. You know. Okay, here we go. Oh, I guess they did finally find them. Trump find after shot. Okay, good. Here we go. Is this it? No, that's 2 days ago. I guess I'm also sitting here going, why should I expect Biden to say anything, really? Here we go. Is this it? Let's see if it talks about it. So let's go down. And, we're going to be talking about, yeah. And you know what? If you don't want Donald Trump to win, this is like probably something you shouldn't do, because this is only going to get more people to vote for him. I don't know what you guys were thinking, what anyone's thinking here. If you don't, it's like, yeah. Oh my gosh, Obama actually said something decent. I'm impressed. I'm going to give, some props where props are due. There's absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy. I love that. I'm glad. Let's see what else he said. He added that while details were still sealed, we should all be relieved that former President Trump wasn't seriously hurt, and use this moment to recommit ourselves to civility and respect in our politics. And I do really appreciate that. And I'm glad that Obama said that. I appreciate that. And I will say, I think it's really freaking disgusting, though, that if it was, and I'm not going to say Obama because I have no idea. I can't recall time. I don't remember. I mean, if someone else can find it, then yeah. But it's like there's so many times where it's like we don't get something like this, a statement like this. We'll get it where it says, this should be a moment to recommit our civilities and respect in politics. But by the way, that group of people, they're a-holes. Those ones who politically like this person, they're all douchebags. It doesn't matter that the majority of them would never commit this violence and would condemn this kind of violence. So that is what it's just, that is like, I'm so pissed off that is the state that we are in right now. But either way, I can't say enough praise for that. That is a beautiful statement. I think he said a wonderful statement. I love that. There is, I'm going to read it in detail real quick. There is absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy. I'm going to read that again for people in the back. There's absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy. We should all be relieved that former President Trump wasn't seriously hurt, and use this moment to recommit ourselves to civility and respect in our politics. Yeah. Seriously. That one, guys. You guys are very lucky he wasn't seriously hurt. What were you guys thinking? And again, I am specifically addressing people who either condone those actions or perpetrated those actions. How dare you? Who do you think you are? Like, seriously, who do you think you are? You think you're on the right? You think you're on the right side of history? You're not on the right side of history, you psychopath. You are lucky because you can't just do that. You can't just, again, try to use, like, Americans have a choice. This is the land of the free. You are allowed to choose. What is wrong with you? And you do need to be respectful and civil. You're not going to just assassinate someone because you don't like them. That doesn't fall under that. Psychos? Yeah, thank you. Finally, 4 minutes ago. It took a while. Law enforcement officials say shooting at Trump rally is being investigated as attempted assassination of. Yeah, exactly. Oh, let's see. This is something interesting. That's some breaking news here. The shooter at we're reading, the shooting at the former President Trump's rally in Pennsylvania is being investigated as an attempted assassination of the former president and a presumptive Republican nominee. Law enforcement officials say 2 officials spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss the ongoing investigation publication. The shooter was not an attendee at the rally and was killed by U.S. Secret Service agents. They said, good, save the taxpayer some money. Yeah, saved the taxpayers some money right there. Thank you. And I hope they look into if this idiot was working with a group. I don't know if there's like a group of psychopaths. I don't know if, he's just a psychopath on his own. I don't know, but they should be investigating to see, okay, is this just a one-off? But again, I say group, I do not mean like, oh, let's just say all Democrats, because I know for a fact not all Democrats are this even close to this psychotic. It's a level of insanity. Okay, let's see. That looks like there's some more. Okay, so what did Bernie say? Absolutely unacceptable. Thank you, Bernie. I wish Donald Trump and anyone else who may have been hurt a speedy recovery. Thank you, Bernie. Thank you. Seeing some good ones here. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Which was just freaking sick. Yeah, political violence is terrifying. I know. Again, to people, again, we got to go back to 2011, but what the heck, guys? Just, you don't like someone, vote them out, impeach them, pull them out. I don't care. We have ways, we have legal routes that we can take, write to your representative, peacefully assemble and protest, peacefully protest, being the word peaceful, guys. Those are the things that you do. You don't do this. So anyways, yes, we were shot in the head in 2011 while at a meeting with her constituent. Sorry, guys, I'm flustered right now. With her. Okay, sorry. Okay. Anyways, constitute. I'm not doing that word. Okay, I'm holding former President Trump and all those affected by today's indefensible acts of violence in my heart. Political violence is un-American. It's un-American and is never acceptable. Never. That's so right. Thank you. And by the way, I do believe she is a Democrat. So I'm really, like I said, don't go out and think, oh man, all these Democrats are all they're all psychotic, because look at, right here, Gabby Gifford. So I'm like 99%, if I recall correctly, is Democrat. Bernie, Democrat. Obama, Democrat. Look at them and what they've come out and said. I appreciate that. I really do. It means, I'm so glad that there is like some hold onto, sanity and what's wrong. Okay, so let me see if I can, yeah. Okay, so there we go. Good, 27 minutes ago. Okay, I'm glad. I'm happy to finally see. Okay, AP found their companies. Good. Shooter dead at rally. Let's see. Shooter dead and rally attendee. Oh, gosh. Come on. And a rally attendee. Shooter dead and rally attendee killed at Trump event. Now I don't know if that's if the rally attendee is referring to the shooter, because it did say that he wasn't a rally attendee, but I don't know. It sounds like it might have just been, I'm going to look that up real quick, but I got to stop the share real quick. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't see all these comments. I apologize to everybody here. I'm so sorry. Glenda, this is pretty concerning. Yes, it is. Walter, and I'll go back. Walter, really disturbing no matter what side you sit on. Thank you, Walter. I think it's sensible to report it as simply popping sound like yeah, but the problem I have with that, Walter, is just because I know that, again, like I said earlier, they wouldn't do it if this was a Democratic thing. It just wouldn't. And that's the thing that always has bothered me, is that, like, okay, we got to do fairness on both sides. And I will say this, and I'll go into a little story. One time I was watching, I think I was in my early 20s, and I was watching, gosh, I can't remember, but it was Fox News. And I started watching some of the shows on Fox News, and I was already conservative before that. I've been conservative for a very long time, guys. In fact, I don't know if I told anybody this story before, but in elementary school, they had us take little tests, and it was to see, okay, what do you agree with, what do you not, to help you figure out what your political alignings were. And then I found out, oh, I guess I'm conservative. And, you know, and I'm like, okay, so I've kind of always been that. And before anybody says, oh, well, anything, my mom is a registered Democrat. My dad is a registered independent. I thought that they were both Democrats, especially my dad, until the Trump thing. And that was the only time I found out. And it was mostly because I found out from my dad, because he would always challenge every little thing I would say, that I thought, okay, well, I guess he was just doing it to kind of, make sure that it's like, okay, you have to have a reason to back up what you're saying and why you believe something, and to be, factual and all that. But like, and also I think he just likes to, mess with his kids like that. But anyways, so let's see, confirmed, and then, oops, okay. Oh, sorry. I hope I didn't just accidentally put someone time out. It was an accident. Okay. See, yeah, I would, okay. So yeah, everything is varied by the minute, developing even as we speak. I don't think I'm knocking them though, because it's hypocritical to do it for one and not the other. Again, if they wanted to hold to the same standard and they used it on everyone, I'd be okay. But that's not what they do. And that bothers me. It bothers me. And again, it would bother me on either side. Okay, so she was reported dead at this moment when attending. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And that's just tragic. Can you imagine? You're just trying to exercise your rights here. Hold on, I'll put the American flag in the background. They're just trying to exercise their rights here. They have the right to support whatever candidate they want to support. And to strike fear, it's just wrong. See, from what I've seen and heard, it looks like he didn't get hit by gunfire unless it was his ear, underside of his face, or was he bleeding from going down? So I don't know if he got hit. I don't know if it was a close call, or if I don't know if he got hit and it was just a very close graze, or if it was just like the speediness of getting the tackle. But it was one of them. So there you're saying hi. Yeah, big girl. It is freaking insane. It is freaking insane. I was at the gym watching it live on both CNN and Fox Ron, and they were essentially reporting it the same with Fox confirmed. Yeah, see, exactly. Fox is confirming. And that's why, again, I showed the screenshots with the news things, with the news reports. Because again, it's like you're sitting here going, okay, you wouldn't be so delicately doing it if it was the other way around. Again, that pisses me off. And I would like to see both sides have some freaking, what do you call it? Integrity in your reporting in something like this. This is such a serious thing. An assassination, an attempted assassination. There's such an affront. And I don't think people understand that. I don't think people grasp that, because we do live in America and we are very blessed. We don't live in countries where, and there are countries where, like, and I'm not going to say which country it was. I don't have it on the top of my head, but where they were like, when they went to vote for the first kind of time, that they had like some psychopathic group chopping off their thumbs after voting, because their thumbs would be kind of dyed purple for how they were, like, doing the thing. Like, that is insane. We do not, that's an affront to someone's rights. You have rights, guys. And you have no idea, and not just you guys, I just mean in general, that people have no idea how fortunate they are when they live in America, how lucky they are that they have these rights. And to see them, go, oh, that's okay, because it wasn't my side, so I don't care. Like, that's an affront to your rights. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a Democrat. It doesn't matter if it's a Republican. It doesn't matter who's stuffing the box. It's an affront to your rights. It doesn't matter who whoever the winner is. Let's say again, because I know that there was a scandal. I believe it was in Danbury, where they found out that a Republican was, and I don't know the whole scandal. You guys have to check it out, but they were doing some corrupt things with voting. It does not matter that I am conservative and would vote, Republican. What matters is it's an affront to my rights, because if the city that I'm living in has elected a Democrat or has picked a Democrat, you have no right to change that vote. You have no right to change what those people have said and have spoken for. I don't care. It's not a who won. Oh, my side won. Because you want to know what? When you're okay with that, then what happens is next time it's someone doing that to your candidate, to your choice. People just think, oh, it's okay when it's mine. Well, it's not okay when it's yours, because eventually what happens is it comes down to your rights. It comes down to, to you. Yeah, see. This is why I stay out of politics. Yeah, exactly, big bro. I mean, I think a lot of people are just at this point jaded, because, we have no care and desire. There's no like an Americanness. I don't think people realize we're Americans. And, I even remember being little. I remember when I was little, and it didn't matter. And again, I was born, I think I was 10 or 12. I might have been 12, I think, when 9/11 happened. I think I was 12. And there was like this, it's hard to explain, at least with the people, at least in my state, and at least, for a while there, the people came together as Americans because they understood it doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum. At the end of the day, we're countrymen. We're each other's fellow countrymen. We shouldn't stand for anything like that. We should never be okay with that. It doesn't matter. It really, really doesn't. Walter, instead of being a united moment and a stand against this type of BS, we already know that when the smoke clears, this will turn to a full-on blame game when only the shooter is responsible. Exactly, Walter. But you know what? I have hope, because I absolutely adored, I don't know if adored is the right word, respected maybe what, I love what Obama said. I think that was freaking beautifully put. And I respected the other ones who were speaking and acknowledging how wrong and evil it is to commit such an act. Pisses me off that they are calling it an incident. It was exactly madness. Exactly. That's an incident. To me, that makes it sound like, oh, well, when they said, oh, Trump incident, like, okay, a boating incident. Did he trip? Did he, fall downstairs? Did he fall off a bike? Did he, I don't know. I don't know, something harmless, fall off the toilet. Those things to me sound like incidents. Okay, that's like there's, stop downplaying things. And then that cracks me up, because the news loves to blow things out of proportion. But on something that's like, oh my gosh, this is just like beyond the pale. This is insane. They're like, oh, well, we're not going to really talk about it. And I'm glad that they're starting to, now do it. The importance is because we need to call things as they are. Walter, yes, it was an assassination attempt. And again, they just nailed the shooter. So it was. And it's important to call things what they are. And it's okay to call things what they are. An assassination attempt. Now, I have no idea what psychopath did this. We don't know. Because you know what? It could have been, I'm going to go an extreme here. There are some conservatives and Republicans that really do not like Trump. Now, I don't know what this guy's political affiliation is. I'm going to lean towards it's probably like some really far left. He's got to be like, and when I say that, because I want people to realize it's not just, okay, the far left people who, like the weird stuff or like to be, obnoxious on the TV. I'm talking about like, you have to be touched in the head to do this. And again, there's like there are far right nuts as well. There's like psychopaths far on each side. Okay. So when I'm talking about specific psychopaths. And that is why I say you cannot sit here and go and say, oh, all the Democrats are evil now. Because, again, I'm pretty sure the majority of Democrats do not support this. I think it is tragic that lives were lost too. But yes, I think we should call things what they are. But what we shouldn't do is now demonize an entire group. And I'm really just, yeah, there was a bystander kill. I just breaks my heart. And it would break my heart if it was a Democrat rally. It would. And a bystander was killed at a Democrat rally. It would break my heart that someone felt the need to take away people's rights. God, it is terrible. And they're seriously injured. And I'm so glad that that again, save the taxpayers' money. And I'm pissed too, Pops. I'm really angry. Yeah. And again, this is going to make people rally behind Trump more. Exactly. So, I mean, that's the other thing that, hey, I would, if I was a Democrat, I would be pissed off at this assassination thing too. As I'd be again, pissed off because you're usurping people's rights. But on top of it, what have you done? Now you've just caused people to rally around him, rally for him. You didn't, you're not you didn't stop it. And now that guy now has to meet his maker and face his maker with that, Hold on. I see, Rosales, I just saw your message that you want to be brought in. Hope I didn't see it too late. Cause again, I wish I should have checked it. I should have checked it back in. But yeah, so I think what I'm going to do for this kind of a stream is typically it will be starting off with me, but if someone wants to join in, they're more than welcome. Just let me know in the comments. And hopefully next time I'll check them instead of ranting for that long. Yeah, he was not an attendee. Was he working the event or what? Yeah, so I don't know. I just know that he wasn't an attendee. Yeah, he doesn't. I don't think a lot of the people knew. I think they just found out that there was an assassination attempt. I think the attendee thing sounds like it was kind of more breaking recently. And the tweets that I was reading seemed like they were things that were like their initial response. Like when they first go, hey, did you hear about this? Again, I can't find Biden's. I don't know if Biden has a more fuller statement now, if his handler has helped write out a statement for him. But I know that the original one that I had read was something like, did you know that this happened? And he just said no. So again, I'm hoping there's probably a more fuller statement out there. Rosales, okay, so yeah, Rosales, just so you know, I did send you the link. Mr. Blanks, I'm at locals having fun, and yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just insane. But I mean, the good news is at least they've, taken care of it. Like I said, save the taxpayers' money now that the shooter's out of the picture. So there we go. Just because a person is radical left or radical right, that's still not the same as being, yeah, exactly. But no mistake, this topic will certainly center around the parties. Well, again, like I said, you could be far, these people are like either far one way, far the other, but they're insane. But again, I think that there's going to be groups that will condone these actions. And I think that those people are just as, they're not like up there in the sense of like where this dude right here, the shooter who, just got yeeted out of this earth. Yeah, I'm not going to say that they're like that level of evil, but it's pretty freaking evil to want a government official to be assassinated. It's pretty evil to condone that. It's pretty evil to rally for that. And again, I do want you guys to realize, because I know there's going to be a hot and pissed conservatives. I'm pissed too, guys. I'm really pissed. I'm with you guys. But what I am going to say is that I truly believe that majority of Democrats and liberals are not okay with this. I truly believe that. I can't believe that anybody would be okay with it. I really can't. I can't believe that there would be a large group of either of us, because I do feel like we do at least have some sanity. Even when we're pitted against each other, I do believe that we do understand how insane that is and wrong. Let me see what Michael said. Mr. Blank's not sure if he actually got hit by the bullet or not yet, but he could have. Yeah, it could have been when he fell down. Sorry, not sure if he actually got hit by the bullet or not yet. Could have been when he went down, and the Secret Service jumped on him. Yeah. So again, I don't know. Yeah, we are learning as it goes. There was blood on his hand before he went down. He got hit. Yeah. I don't know, because that was what, again, I don't have the sound. I can't work the sound on here, but I do believe in the news thing that I was listening to. It sounded like he had kind of reached for his ear, like he felt something. Okay. Hey, Rosales, let me see. Oh, so hold on. I have it on like a special layout. So let me just change the layout so I can add you. There we go. Hey, Rosales.
Hey.
Hey, so I'm just going through the rest of the comments real quick. Yeah, there. And then get your take on all this. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the way he grabbed his ear, he almost certainly was hit. Yeah, it does look like he was hit. It does. But again, I know that we can't really say, because at this point, I don't think they've confirmed it yet. It does appear that but again, like someone else said, it could be, could have been an injury when he fell. But what we do know is that there was a shooter, and we do know that, let's see, Michael, no worries, 76, impromptu streams, we appreciate it either way. And Michael, Walter, good to know, didn't see that. Okay, so then I was between Republican and Independent. My mom and I are Independent. Yeah, see? So, exactly. And then in the moment as the SS covers Trump, you can hear Secret Service covers Trump, you can hear a pop before they start talking about moving Trump in the hot mic, and that phrase, the shooter is down. They all knew what the pop was. Okay, so yeah, so you probably got like a better clip of it than I was able to get. So I'm glad for that.
I saw the raw. I saw the raw footage there that they had there, and he's talking, and 3 shots ring out, and within those 3 shots, he reaches up and touches his ear and goes down. And then the Secret Service moves in. The crowd is yelling and screaming, and then there's a few more shots that happen, and the crowd screams again. And right after that, they start talking about moving him. And when they go to move him, they reassure him the shooter is down, and that's when they decide to pick him up. So they keep him completely covered until the threat has been neutralized, and then they decide to move him. And Trump, being the kind of person who doesn't listen to even his closest advisors, sticks his hands up and mugs to the crowd and yells "fight" 3 times while pumping his fist in the air. And you could definitely see bleeding coming from his ear. So it's you can call it an assumption, but I assume that his ear was injured before he hit the ground. But he did lose his shoes. They didn't let him put his shoes back on. And so he was knocked out of his shoes, and you can hear him say, "I get my shoes, I want my shoes." And, very expensive shoes. Yes, I paid for them, flew them in personally. So.
So real quick, there's a couple of things. So I see, hi Cole, how are you doing? Walter, so I see yours, and I do want to address this again. I understand you're saying that there's not a difference in reporting. However, and I love you, dude, but again, I take it back to that screenshot of, let me see if I can pull it back up again. Jeez, it just takes me so much. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So I can present so you guys can see it. Here we go. And here we go. Yeah, no, this is, to me, no, that's actually some difference right here, where you see the British news, the conservative news acknowledging the gunfight, even if it's reportedly, because it reportedly is like allegedly, it's the same thing, And then look at, here we go. We got these two nuts down here. Again, that I believe is NBC. With bloody ear after loud noise rang through. That's different than, acknowledging gunfire or even, yeah.
If you share
well, no, it's been updated now. This is old.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, again, I'm not saying that it hasn't been updated. Like I've said in the stream, they finally found the cojones. However, they originally did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
none of them wanted to say that. Even though, and the reason I described what happened in the video is because they all heard it too. They were Fox News was carrying that live when it happened on their stream. They even said they still called it popping noises and who could have been responsible for the noise popping, as if it was some sort of firecracker. But anybody watching that at the time with the mic up loud, you could hear the Secret Service say the shooter was down. So they all knew what was happening at the time. They just didn't want to say it. But now, even
Mhm.
CNN, if you share my screen, you'll see that they're saying that the Trump shooting
Yeah.
is being investigated as an attempted assassination.
Yeah.
So,
Because now they can't do it anymore. They can't sit there. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, it's gotten out. We can't keep having these little, I don't know how to explain it. Other than, just freaking ridiculous headlines. We have to actually, start acknowledge it. But here we go. Yeah. Trump removed from the stage from Secret Service after loud noises startles former Trump. Well, our former president. That could be a balloon popping. It startles him. That makes him sound like an old man. Oh, I got startled. I heard a loud noise. I got startled. Yeah, like him getting jumpy without it being the truth. Or the truth, So no, a car backfiring, after loud noise startles. Yeah. So, I mean, I understand that people sometimes they want to, I don't know. Again, I've been watching this and the headlines and looking it up on my phone and watching it in real time. And yes, they did update, as we've seen. I mean, I talked about that earlier. Yes, the things did update, but no, there is the receipts right there. We can see the difference in how they title it. And let's face it, most people don't go and click on the article. Most people are just headline readers nowadays. Thankfully, though, like I said, they finally found their pair and actually started, calling it what it is. Or at least alleging it, at least calling it, because again, we wouldn't see these type of headlines if it was a Democratic person. And I don't care. You guys can be upset about that. You guys can think I'm biased. I don't care. It's true. And we do need to acknowledge that. I know we don't like to think that way, but it is. Okay? It is. It just is. I'm sorry. That's just how we are. It's the state that we're in. And it's wrong. We shouldn't want to be like that.
You're in California. I'm in Texas.
Okay, so let me go ahead and
I know I'm making a little joke out of it.
I'm keeping this one as more of a serious one. Okay, good. Yeah. I'm glad that you kind of know what I was talking about here. Danbury. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Mr. Blanks. I knew you would know, but I know. He's always up on the, stuff with me. Okay. One job is trending. False flag. I don't know why it's kind of cracked me up a little bit because I'm going through these because they're so delayed. I was so delayed in seeing all of them. But like you're here right here, so it's like you could address those.
Well, we were just having having our own conversation there in the chat in the comments. Tony, what's up?
Yeah, hey Tony. What's up? I appreciate that, Tony. Let's see, Jodie Foster always trends after this kind of thing. He says, why Jodie Foster? Actually, I want to know why Jodie Foster. That's interesting.
I'll tell you why Jodie Foster, because the guy who shot Ronald Reagan did it to impress Jodie Foster. He was an insane man who was able to walk up to Ronald Reagan and pop off a bunch of shots and shoot one of his guys in the head, making him a vegetable. But he did it because he was trying to impress Jodie Foster, who knew absolutely nothing about him. And so whenever there's some sort of assassination attempt, people start talking about Jodie Foster again, at least the old folks. So it's good to know that the old folks are on Twitter too.
Yes. And again, Walter, I see your thing about how it doesn't, actually, because even if there was like a discrepancy in time posting, put it this way, poor Richard Simmons just passed away. And TMZ was the one to break the news. It didn't take long before all the other news outlets broke it. Okay. So yes, I will say that. And also, as if there's not, dude, I've been to some of these conservative things. Trust me, it's not just the conservative news outlets that are there. Okay. It's like the liberal stuff too. It just is. It's like you would have it at the other ones because you want to be in there and watching it. And of course you're going to put your own bias spin, whatever. It just is what it is. Within the body. But I would think that when it becomes to an assassination attempt, we would, but no, because again, I don't know if you guys really probably don't know this, But the reason I really am like the way I am, it's not because I sat there and read a bunch of conservative news. And I know I was kind of getting there, but I watched it because I didn't. I used to really read a lot more of the. Actually, I don't even think I don't trust the news at all. But I used to actually read a lot of the liberal news, even if I didn't agree with a lot of the slants, and it would piss me off when I'm reading something biased. It's because I was like, oh, okay, well, this is the one that's. I at the time thought, well, maybe this is the one that's accurate. But then as you're reading, going, oh, hold on, this is just as biased. They're passing themselves off as these like, oh, I'm the better news, but they're just as biased. So that's why. And yes, I read the news. I read the different news. I watch the headlines. I see it how people are spinning it. And because I am conservative, I do feel like I have a little bit of a different, more insight here. Because when you're always the one that people are bitching about, and I know I try not to use foul language, but when you're always the one that they're complaining about, you kind of really notice it. And you kind of really notice when it's like the headlines are really derogatory towards you, towards your group, So, and you notice when the headlines are like, oh my gosh, this horrible thing happened. And especially because you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe some idiot tried to do this, But yeah, that's why, Walter. That is why I'm sitting here going, this is freaking ridiculous. And I am glad, though, to see that they finally, like I said, these news stations have finally found their cojones and they're actually starting to post, what's going on. I'm going to have to close this down real quick. So Rosales, go ahead and take over for me just a second while I try to get the laptop up. Okay, I think it's working again. Okay, that was like a close one. There you go. And so anyway, so yeah, hopefully that's.
I was muted. I'm sorry. I didn't know I was muted. I was trying to cover for you, and I was just talking away, and nobody heard me.
Okay, so go ahead and tell us what you were saying when it was muted.
What I'm saying is that there's a video out now of cell phone video of a guy laying on a roof with the caption "Shooter dead on the rooftop." So apparently there's a graphic video of somebody laying down on a rooftop.
All right. So okay, so he was on the roof. I was wondering where he was.
Yeah.
Where he was standing. I'm not talking about social media either, actually. I'm talking about actually watching like the news, not like looking, because it didn't, like I said, I found out from a tweet in my feed. I didn't find out from the news like source. I'm not referring to social media reporting either. I'm talking about like news articles, like how to explain it. Not news articles that pop up in Twitter. I'm talking about like news articles that pop up like on your phone.
Yeah. But yeah. You're not going to see that video on the news. You may see it on where'd that screen go? Uh-oh.
Oh, you got a screen?
You might see it on Newsmax or some of these others that are a little more leaning towards one side than the other. But you're not going to see it on CNN, or you're not going to see it on Fox News. And I bring that up because their reporting was exactly the same. And it was Fox who turned on Trump in 2020, I believe. Yeah, they started calling states before everybody else did in favor of Biden. So it's kind of like they've switched sides a little bit and are being a little more critical than some of the others because they didn't want to fall into that trap of being the only ones out there and being considered, the wild right crazies out there. But yeah, this video, whether it's legitimate or not, is out there, and so are all the joke trendings out there, being BB Gunn, the SS, Jodie Foster, Alex Jones, and for some reason Becky Lynch. That's probably for a different reason. But no. They were saying the exact same thing, even though they had access to the exact same audio, and since they were streaming it live, They had it first, with the Secret Service yelling, the shooter is down, the shooter is down, let's get him out of here. And Trump going, I want my shoes, I want my shoes. So they knew by listening to that, they could have said a popping sound was heard. However, on a hot mic, and they love a hot mic. I don't know a news organization that doesn't love a hot mic and what somebody's saying. They go out of their way to try to clear up garbled audio, but this is clear as day. I mean, if you can find it somewhere where somebody's not talking over it, you can hear it clear as day. The shooter is down. So they all knew. And anybody in the audience who was paying attention could hear it. And they know it wasn't a popping sound, that it wasn't firecrackers, that it wasn't anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And,
go ahead, and I think I was going to say that I have heard a lot is that people think, how do they, what was it? It was like basically that people don't really know what the sound of gunfire sounds like. A lot of them think it, because they watch it in movies, they think it's like that more theatrical kind of loud, I guess, firecrackery sound. But it, like you said, it's a popping sound. And if you watch the video of it, you can hear the popping sound. But what you see is the veterans in the background yelling, "Get down!" There's veteran, there's like veteran, attendees that are yelling at the crowd to get down. And I do think it actually probably saved a lot of lives in that sense, because there are so many veterans or let's say NRA enthusiasts that know what a gun sounds like, that they were able to kind of say, okay, everybody get down. It's kind of like that country, what was it, the in Vegas, there was that country music thing where there was like the shooting there, and there were a lot of lives actually saved. Even though it was tragic because they lost so many lives, there were a lot more saved because there were so many like nurses and doctors and veterans who had been field dressers in the crowd that went, and police officers. So they were running back into the line of fire, grabbing people, pulling them out, wrapping their wounds. So I feel like, that because it was this kind of a rally, they knew, okay, they recognized that sound and they knew to get down, and they knew to warn everybody to get down. And I do want to just read this Ronald Reagan thing. And I do think this is, I always loved how this was handled. So this was a response that I believe it was like the lead surgeon had to Ronald Reagan when there was an assassination attempt on him. And Reagan, I guess, had whispered like, please tell me you're Republicans. And it's the lead surgeon, who was, basically a staunch Democrat, answered, today, Mr. President, we're all Republicans, and then, and that's just how we should be, regardless of who it is. We should feel like that, like where it's like, we're all Americans, we're all Democrats, we're all Republicans. We should really kind of come together on these kind of events rather than it being something that divide us. And I'm really hopeful. I do think there's going to be a lot of Democrats who are going to see and realize the insanity of this.
Well, Walter, I see you still have concerns about what's going on, but the Attorney General of Pennsylvania has come out and said that the shooter had been neutralized. So that's from an official source that confirms that there's a shooter, and that shooter was in fact neutralized. Now, they could have neutralized him by taking him into custody, if you want to kind of think about it that way. But however, you have to now accept that there was a shooter. And with the shooter being the president, the former president, being a target of that shooter, that this was in fact an assassination attempt, without any real speculation or worry that it's not what actually happened. So, that should be a confirmation enough that somebody tried to sway the vote. And it's going to change the dynamics of both of the conventions coming up. We're going to see a lot more plexiglass or Lexan. Yeah. Oh, okay. So thanks, Rosales. I already know they announced it about 45 minutes ago or so. Oh, well, then he's just a contrarian then. Isn't that awesome? Which is fine. So am I. I love a good debate too, just as much as the next person, or maybe more than the next person, because they get pissed off. But the point is that sensible people can come to a sensible conclusion, especially if you're listening and paying attention to what's going on. You can make an observation and still call it an observation, and say, well, there was some popping noises. However, the hot mic said this. And so if you were to put those two things together, we can plausibly say that this was that. And without being crazy and saying, oh, look at this still photograph of a horse rider's reins gone wild next to some migrants. They're whipping these guys down. Um, that was a jump to conclusion that cost a lot of bad press to the border patrol agents who were down there just trying to protect the fence. So, it's a tightrope that people walk to try to be as accurate as possible, while gaining the sensationalism that'll bring clicks and views to TV channels and the like.
Hmm. And I don't know how old you are, Walter, but there was a time, at least I remember, where it was like really, Fox News was that's the conservative bias news. MSNBC was the liberal bias news, and if you wanted to go and get like the unbiased news, which wasn't really unbiased, but if you wanted to go and get unbiased news, it was CNN, ABC, NBC. It was like those big core things, and that is why it pisses me off when I see the headlines like that. And that is why like I said, I would expect someone like MSNBC. I mean, actually, no, let me go back a little bit, because when it comes to an assassination attempt, I expect every single news station to be on it and to, write the titles the exact same way they would write it for whatever political affiliation that they lean towards. So if you would write a title a certain way for a Republican, then you better do it for a Democrat. If you do it a certain way for a Democrat, then you better do it for a Republican. That's what I expect when it comes to something serious like this. But, I know that, again, like I said, you're going to see when a news thing is, like you said, like you had kind of said, okay, well, these are a little bit, these are going to be a little biased. Yeah. Okay. Well, on things that, yeah, I expect MSNBC, I expect Fox, but you know what? What pissed me off a lot was like with CNN, ABC, NBC, then don't set yourself up that you're unbiased. Now, of course, now we know otherwise, but for a while there, for a long time, they had, pretty good reputation. They had set themselves up as these really, oh, we're just giving you the facts. And now I'm sitting here going, oh, really? You're just giving us the facts? It doesn't look like the facts because you're not holding the same standard. That is what bothers me. It bothers me when they do not hold the same standard, and you're going to claim that you're unbiased and you're not holding the same standard, then you're garbage. If you are, if it's something that's a serious thing, such as an assassination or an assassination attempt, and you don't hold the same standard, regardless of how far you lean left, how far you lean right, then you're BS and garbage, and I don't care about you either.
There's a photograph running around social media, so this isn't out there in the actual news. But apparently, somebody in the bleachers behind Trump was hit. Nothing in the videos that I've seen has indicated that's happened. But it does look like there's blood in the bleachers somewhere. I don't know if those are the bleachers behind Trump or not.
Well, I mean, like they said that there was one person who was killed. Just senseless. It's senseless.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Rosales, what do you think is going to happen next? How do you think this is going to play out?
Well, if you were to listen to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's running for president, he tells a story about how Sirhan Sirhan attempted to assassinate his father at the DNC, the convention, the same one that's coming up here in a little while. That Sirhan Sirhan was got one shot off, missed, was wrestled to a table and got off the rest of his shots holding a revolver, which holds about 6 rounds. He claimed there were 8 shots come out of that, but that there were a total of 14 shots that rang out, and that his father was shot multiple times, and that there were powder burns on his back when he was shot. So he's speaking on an assassination that was done by the inner circle or the Secret Service. I don't see anything like that happening here. Okay. But then again, he was a young child when it happened. He was just a very, very young boy, and your memory can change over time. Not to say that his father wasn't assassinated. He was right there in broad daylight in front of everybody at the convention. But this will definitely change the complexities of how they're going to do it, where they're going to be standing, who's going to be allowed to be in there, whether there's going to be Lexan or whatever the bulletproof plastic is called that's around the people, how they get to the podiums, how they walk away from the podiums, where they're at. It may even affect the judgment of Trump and whether or not he's placed in jail according to the sentencing of his trial. So now that there's a legitimate concern for his safety, the Secret Service may have something to say about him being put in prison. And that's going to be interesting to see that play out. There's already calls blaming Democrats for this, and especially Joe Biden, because Joe Biden did say that his job is to beat Trump and that he's going to put a target on his back. And that's nothing more than a poor choice of words. I don't indict him for this at all. Everybody who is a lunatic and has access to guns is taking everything out of context and using it for ill-gotten gains. I think you're going to find this person was probably working alone, probably a loner, probably wrote out a manifesto. And even if he didn't, it's probably one that's going to show up. So, other than that, I'm not too sure how else it's going to play out, except for the fact that I think it might ruin Captain America. Well, did you see the new trailer drop this week?
I didn't see the new trailer. What did they do? I'm almost afraid to ask. What did they do in the trailer? Because for you to make that joke, I'm like, what did they do?
There's a character named Isaiah Bradley who makes an attempt on President Ross, Thunderbolt Ross. And he's a president at the time, and he gets assassinated. Yes, President Red Hulk. That's right. His life is almost taken by Isaiah Bradley, one of the Captain Americas they did, and shuffled away. And so that being in the trailer may cause them to rethink how this movie plays out and how they market this. They may not include that in the movie. They may not include that in the rest of it because of this. I know that the original Spider-Man movie had Spider-Man stop a helicopter by putting a web between the Twin Towers. And they pulled that real quick when they went down in 9/11. So there was also the movie called The Gangsters, where they started shooting at their enemies through a movie screen into the audience. And that was like a really exciting part of the trailer. And that was shown at the beginning of a Batman movie that came out. And a guy dressed up as the Joker stood up and turned around and started firing on the audience himself and was arrested for doing that. And they took that out of the movie. So as somebody who's seen people, Hollywood, react to reality interjecting itself into their creativity, this could hurt, really, really hurt. They've already spent $400 million reshooting it and more than a couple of years refilming this because it was originally going to be a TV series, and then they turned it into a movie, and then they had more creative reshoots, and now they're out here doing this, and somebody takes a shot at Trump. Well, that could be a nail in the coffin for this production.
And we got this. Towers are one thing, but they paid those Harrison Ford $4. You can't take him out of the movie. From Great, and then from Walter, wow, really interesting point. Because also I didn't think about the tie with Captain America. You're absolutely right. 500 millions more in reshoots coming. Yeah, because I think they did that during what was it? Captain America and the Winter Soldier, because they were supposed to do like a super spreading disease or bug or something like that. But instead, because of COVID had came out, oh no, I said the COVID word, whatever, come and get me, YouTube. Because COVID had happened, then they decided to take that out and change it to the super serum thing. That was like from what I had heard, but I don't know if that's.
Well, it could be. I have no idea for sure, but I do know that, and I haven't checked just yet if they pulled it or not. But I do know that the Isaiah Bradley scene where he's taking a shot at President Ross was in the trailer, and I thought, something happens that's going to ruin this movie, and then lo and behold, Saturday happens, and that's
Um,
today.
Walter, I'm starring that comment. I love that. Captain America, Brave New Budget. Um, great. If the Happy Meals couldn't take out this flick, a mere attempt won't even slow it down. Okay, because yeah, what was the Happy Meal thing that they outed the characters or something?
Yeah. The thing is about, and here's the thing. Let me just gather my thoughts here as I keep saying. Here's the thing. When you have tie-ins with multiple companies for toys and licensing items and products and restaurants and so forth, you set a timetable that the movie's going to come out at this particular time, and they get into production mode and start getting ready to release everything at that time. When you have reshoots and you decide to push the movie back, that puts people in a bind because they're stuck with the toys that they can now no longer sell as a tie-in. Or in the case of this Brazilian place, they'd already started putting things up, and people were snapping pictures of the Happy Meal toys that showed a red Hulk, which you would have seen had the movie come out on time. But since they were doing reshoots, nobody knew anything about it until the toy came out in this foreign language, at least according to the Americans. Everything's a foreign language. So they were exposed and put in a bind because the information got out there because they were stuck with the people that they'd made deals with. So it's tough like that. There were some other toys. The Toy Story, I believe, came out 6 months after the toys were released, and there was another couple of movies that did that where the toys came out for Christmas, and then the movie came out later on because of this type of things. And it's just getting harder and harder for movies to meet the expectations of the rest of their contractual partners.
Yeah, I guess because I'm trying to think of like I don't know how you would kind of fix that because like you said, I mean I think a lot of it has to do with the whole what's it like the CGI too. I mean a lot of that I've heard like that's a lot creates a lot of delay because and they have to reshoot like you said reshoots and then there's leaks and then people get pissed off at what got leaked. So
Yeah. There's if you're not paying people enough money, and I think there's some grifting going on. I really do. I have no proof of it. This is all speculation. I got a tinfoil hat on my head when I say this, but you don't see the budget on the screen with a lot of these big budget movies. $100,000, $100 million, $200 million, $300 million, and then the movie's a joke, and you got floating heads with bad CG, and then you hear from the artists saying that they're not paying them enough money to do the work, and they're not giving them overtime, and they're working them at the last minute. You have you have this stuff like that, and you wonder where is all of this money going, and because you don't see it on the screen. And then you have something like Godzilla -1 come out where they didn't pay him a thing, under $15 million to make, which is what the kind of budget that'll draw cold to a movie theater. So low budget, and it looked phenomenal compared to what Hollywood is putting out. So either they're grifting and stealing all the money and putting it in, lining their pockets with it. Or there's something else going on. I have no idea what that might be.
Real quick, it looks like 6 minutes ago, right here. I'm getting 6 minutes ago that Biden finally addressed this. So where is it? Let me go ahead and show you guys. So, because I was like I said, I've been waiting because I knew that there had to be more than just a no, But again, that's a full sentence for him. Here we go. He actually said something decent, so I'm gonna try to muster up some respect for him right now. Here we go. Oh, go away. Okay. Uh, so this is from Biden, it appears. Okay. There's no place in America for this kind of violence, the president said. It's sick. It's sick. That's one of the reasons we have to unite this country. You cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. And, let's see. The president said Trump's rally should have been able to take place peacefully without any problem. He says, but the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. Keep going. A reporter asked the president if he believes this was an assassination attempt. I don't know enough I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts, the president said. So I want to make sure I have all the facts before I make any more comments. Let's see if there's any more. The Secret Service state, yeah, okay, so that he's safe. He said he's fine. The person believed to be the shooter is dead. 2 sources confirmed. Yeah, okay, rally attendant also dead. Here we go. I have been briefed on the shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania. Mr. Biden said in a statement. Oh, didn't even address him as President Biden. President Biden. I don't like the guy. I think he's a god awful president. And I don't even, like I said, because there was voter fraud and no one fixed that, no one went to go ensure. I don't know. But anyways, because he is currently the sitting president, I'm going to correct that. I do not like that. And that's CBS. Shame on them. This is like the people they sent for. Okay. President Biden said in a statement, I'm grateful to hear that he's safe and doing well. I'm praying for him and his family and for all those who were at the rally as we await further information. Jill and I are grateful to the Secret Service for getting him to safety. There's no place for this kind of violence in America. We must unite as one nation to condemn it. I love that statement. That is a wonderful statement. Let's see if there's anything further. Let's see, White House Secretary, Yeah, I don't see. Okay. Vice President Harris, said she's been briefed. Let me see if she gave any kind of oops, click that too fast. Yeah, okay, so I don't see that. Okay, yeah. So,
So they caught her in a hallway.
What's this? Okay, so I just got confused here. Former presidents and their spouses have Secret Service. Okay, President Biden will be pausing all political activity, including outbound communications, and will be pulling down television ads as quickly as possible. Oh, because like you said, did he say something weird in those campaign ads?
Well, if they're using the fact that he said that he needs to put a target on his back, then yeah.
Okay, yeah,
he needs to pull those down as soon as possible. It's a bad turn of a phrase, and when I say that, I mean that in that it's the timing that's bad. No, I mean he's got one target, and that is the president, the former president. Oh, Trump gave a statement. So, did he have a Band-Aid on his ear?
Let's see, Trump. I was shot. Yeah, I see. Okay, so now we got a bullet ripped through my skin. Trump said, as we've seen, the bullet hits. Yeah, so it did kind of look like he made a move first, but like again, it needs to be confirmed because it was so fast in the thing. And then I you were watching, it's like results where you were able to gosh dang.
It would have been awesome if I was wrong.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. But I mean, thank God he's still here. Because really, again, it's not for some psychopath to determine.
It would have been really, really horrible to see that on national television.
Yes, it would have.
If he had 3 shots, he got 3 shots off before he went down, and one hit him in the ear, and I think it was the very first one. So the second and third shots were way off. Because he touched his ear right as you heard the shot, which means that it was shot from a great distance away, and the bullet hit before the sound wave hit. So if you know anything about acoustics, then you know that the shot was fired before you heard the sound. So him touching his ear at exactly the same time could give somebody with any kind of training, other than me, because I don't know exactly how far away that person was when he took a shot. But the second and third shots, because of the recoil and the springing, the action, and trying to concentrate on it, were further off than the first one. So if that first shot wasn't drifting, to the left from the shooter's point of view. That could have gone in his face. His whole head would have Kennedy'd out the back, and he would have just flopped right there in front of everybody. So,
Mhm.
I mean, that is definitely a miracle because uh, that's a 1 in a million shot too.
Yeah. And I do just want to bring several quick. So yes, I was laughing, Walter. That is kind of a funny statement, and thank you for saying something light. So I don't want people thinking that I was laughing while we're talking about the bullet hitting him. I'm just Walter's stupid comment. But yeah, no, that is. It's just one of those, by the grace of God, go out. I mean, you just see that, and again, it's just like shocking. And I do want to, touch back upon a little bit on Biden's statement. I do think that was beautifully written and stated, and I do wish again, because, and I know people don't like this, and my last thing in goal here is to sit here and start a war between the conservatives and Democrats, because that's what needs to happen. What needs to happen is we need to get it together, because this is insane and this is wrong. And I would hope that this would now cause us to all stop and reevaluate things and go, okay, this has gone too far. We are all Americans, and we all have the right to vote for who we wish to vote for. And
Yes.
there shouldn't be this animosity and hatred. I would hope that that's the outcome, because that needs to be the outcome. And I know that I feel for you guys. I know that as I'm talking about this mainstream media thing, it's important to acknowledge these things, because they need to acknowledge these things. Don't stop pretending you're an unbiased media source. But even if you are biased, again, like I've said it several times, you still have no right to minimize an assassination attempt. But again, looking at the Biden thing about him taking down his ads. Again, if this was a Trump thing, it would have been like, saying, oh, well, why it was taken down. It's like I wouldn't have to be saying, well, hey, results, what happened in that thing. It was stated why he took it down. What was it? And again, like Rizal said, it was a bad choice of words, but it wasn't like a call to action. He wasn't doing a call to action in it. It was just a bad choice of words. It happens. But acknowledge it should be written. I should know. I shouldn't be sitting here wondering. But see, again, if it was the opposite way, if it went the other way, it would be calling, oh, well, all these psychopathic people, conservatives, are all like a bunch of crazies. And I know people are going to go, well, you don't know that. Well, yes, I do, because I do remember the assassination attempt on I believe we read her statement earlier, the Democrat, because I do remember basically being called one of those crazy people. And I'm saying, well, what did I do? I don't support this crap. I don't support assassination attempts. You're calling my side crazy?
So during Trump's presidency, somebody went to the baseball field and started taking shots at senators who were going to play a game. And this is not the first time that Republicans have been a target by somebody who feels disenfranchised. Now, with that being said, I don't think either of these two people are connected in any sort of form or fashion. I am not saying that there is a conspiracy out there to kill all Republicans. That is not what I'm saying.
Yeah,
however, exactly. I am saying that we should identify this exactly what it is. But, one person, as far as we know right now, it's just one person who grabbed probably his parents' gun and went somewhere and did something he shouldn't, because that's what all of the shooters have in common, is that they grabbed somebody else's gun, or they purchased it legally to do something illegal with it. And definitely shooting a gun in public at a public rally is illegal. So they were not exercising any form of their Second Amendment rights in taking a shot at somebody's ear and hitting it. And nobody on either side has come out and said that they condone it, except for a-holes on Twitter, who are making things trending and sending out memes. And there's toxic people all over the place. Back in my day, you just ignored people like that. You moved on with your lives, and everybody got along nice and dandy, even if they voted differently. So it's not Biden's fault that he got shot. let's make that clear.
Yeah.
It is not Biden's fault that he got shot because he said that he had a target. He wanted to put a target on his back because the target is for himself to take him out of the race, not to take him out completely. In the context of a political standing, it's all meant in the course of the election. That's how he was going to take him out, through the electoral process. If you have a beef with Trump or if you have a beef with Biden, just go start stuffing ballots. That's where you're best. That seems to be working. But don't grab a gun. There's no call for violence. There shouldn't be a call for violence, especially after this. Don't start targeting your in-laws because they voted differently than you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I mean, really, I wish I can't stress it. I don't think the majority of Americans are, like you said, you're just going to get some morons on Twitter talking like a bunch of idiots. You are, you're going to get morons on Twitter, saying that they support this. You're going to get the a-holes who say that they support this. You're going to get the a-holes who say it is, every single Democrat ever wished this to happen. I don't really, like I said, I believe the majority of Democrats are like against this. I'm pretty sure the majority of Democrats are not like evil, because only an evil person would condone that. Only an evil person would enact it and condone it. So, you got to be touched in the head. You got to have some real serious touched in the head issues to do that for either side. Yeah, this is Walter, the way here. Yeah, turn it political one. Yeah, exactly. The way here. Yeah, try to turn it political. Yeah, exactly. It's not. It's just idiots. They're just idiots. And what we should do as Americans is instead, I really wish and I hope that instead we take this and come together and unite and go. You know what? We gotta chill out a little bit here. We gotta stop being so
dramatic.
Charged and real. Yeah, exactly.
Stop being dramatic. Stop speaking with hyperbole. Stop making things. Stop blowing things out of proportion. Because if you're blowing things out of proportion and a crazy person sees that, they think you're right on. You're like you're absolutely right, 100%. And everybody needs to be as outraged as you. You listen to somebody like Alex Jones for years and years and years, spouting off the most outrageous things for clicks and views. When he gets taken into court by the relatives of Sandy Hook, he said, "I'm an entertainer. I entertain people. I'm only saying things. I'm not really reporting any kind of news. I'm stating an opinion for shits and giggles. I'm just having fun." Started turning into Seth Rogen there for a second. But stop being that way. Stop being hyperbolic and just spout some facts. And if you don't agree with someone, there's a way you can handle that. You can say, "I disagree."
Exactly. And then, great. I do like yours, like and sub for more breaking coverage. I do got to say, if anybody new here is watching, that as funny as that is, yeah, don't do that. Don't sub me, because what's going to happen is you're going to be like, "What the heck?" She's like, never breaks any news. She's like 5 months like behind the trend here.
Yeah, folks, she only covers assassination attempts, is what it is what she's saying.
Great buffet. Decent Alex Jones impression, but not enough wrong. And then, okay, so Walter, you said I missed something, so let me go back real quick. I live in Buffalo. Sorry. I live in Buffalo, and as you may recall from a few years ago, there was a grocery store mass shooting where the shooter targeted the location because of its high concentration of Black people. The way here, people tried to turn it political when it was just one, jacket with a gun. And then you read the second part. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, exactly.
He wasn't even from Buffalo. He came in from, I think from Jersey or something like that. He drove into town specifically to do that. So we're looking at somebody who had premeditation. And yeah, he hung out with a bunch of other a-holes and they were probably speaking, hyperbole as well. And he took it upon himself as the one person who's unmedicated to go out and do that. So, it's these people are not that none of us are working in a vacuum here. We're all part of a community. And, we are allowed to believe the things that we believe, whether it's a flat earth or no moon landing. But when it comes to picking up a gun and walking out, you don't have a right to do that. Even if you feel like somebody is ruining the country, yeah, yes, grocery prices are high right now. Yes, gasoline costs a lot. Yes, everybody's paying a lot more for rent. But that's not an excuse to pick up a gun. That's an excuse to pull out a second mortgage, is what that is. Or
and
vote.
it's a bit, yeah, vote. You can. Oh God, I mean, I just one day we're going to go over all the amendments, and I'm going to stress beyond belief the peaceably section of protest on the First Amendment. There's a reason why it says peaceably assemble. I don't know why people just miss that part. You can peaceably assemble. You can peaceably do that. You can write letters to your congressman. You can call. Vote. Like listen, vote. Vote people out. Run for office. You can run for office even at your local area, your local government area. Be a poll watcher. And I don't mean be a poll watcher so you can do illegal things, but I mean be a poll watcher to make sure that the votes, are properly handled as they should be. Where everybody gets one, every American gets one vote. Sorry, go ahead.
I got lots of friends who do the volunteering and work in the polls, and they are very, very honest people. But they're out there every election, making sure things go as well as possible. So yeah, be a part of it. Join the system, and do what you can to make things work as honestly as possible. If that's your intention. If not, then like I said, there's a lot of people out there on both sides who were busted stuffing ballots and harvesting ballots from people. That's, I think a few years back, a Republican in Texas, a lady was arrested because she stuffed a lot of ballots, and there's some people in other counties and other states who were stuffing ballots. There's people out there. They got videos of people drumming up ballots. Now, I don't encourage you to do that. But all I'm saying is that there's a system in place for you to be effective for your particular party.
Yeah. And stop stuffing ballots, guys. Just anyone out there, stop doing that. I don't even want to hear, oh, well, they do it. I don't care if they do it. Then stop them from doing it. Then get involved. Okay, hold on.
That's a good point.
Let's change how we say stop. Get involved in poll watching. And do it through the legal route. Thank you.
If a crazy person went after Biden and took a shot at him and broke a piece of his ear off because he wouldn't bleed, he would just crumble. They would blame every single Republican and start rounding them up like they did on January 6th. Don't blame everybody else. Be bigger than the people that you despise, your political enemy, that is. Don't be like them and say it's every single one of them. No, let's focus on the right person. Democrats should be, should be chock full of animosity against people who generalize everything, because plenty of people who vote Democrat do not like the fact that they are targeted as a group by law enforcement. So, don't target the group, target the individual. Look for the right person, and the right person has already been found. So, investigate how he got to that place, or she, depending on what they find out. I don't want to misgender the dead person. I don't want to dead name them. I think that's what they're called.
Well, I just want to see if anybody else was involved too. I mean, that's important to see. Okay, was this is there like a group? I don't mean like people are going to think I'm talking about like this big giant group. I just mean like, was there a group of a-holes who were planning this? Was it just one person? I mean, like that.
Did somebody drive them up there? Was somebody holding the ladder? There's some questions.
Did someone loan him the gun? I mean, we need to know.
Yeah.
Those kinds of
And
things. Yeah.
obviously, there's some kind of training that happened there. They identify as dead. Yeah, their pronouns are used to be.
Yeah, exactly. Was
Yeah,
were,
used
like
to
they
be
say. Yeah.
alive. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Here we go. So, Walter, don't get me wrong. There was more unifying than discourse when it happened, but the discourse was certainly there. Yeah. And
Yes.
Michael, big W. Thank you, Michael.
And that's right, Walter. And that's what I'm trying to speak against is that type of um, non-helpful discourse. Um, Sweetie says the pronouns
Sweetie,
was and were. So,
welcome to the channel, sweetie. I love that.
but yeah, the discourse does not need to be political enemy versus political enemy. The discourse should be, let's find out the facts in this criminal activity. Which because like 76 said there's an inspiration behind the action, and it's nobody just hates for the hate's sake. Somebody taught this person to hate Trump enough to climb a ladder, get on a roof, grab a rifle, steady their aim, and take a shot so close that he caught him in the ear. Um, and you have you ever shot a gun, 76?
Oh yeah, I have, and I have that story where it was on a date. Like he took me to go to the gun range, and
Mm-hmm.
I had worn a shirt that was kind of, it was like I didn't know what we were doing for the day, so I had dressed up in jeans and a fancier top that had, what would you call it? Like it was like a strapless top. And that's like the dumbest thing to wear if you're going to go shooting, guys. Ever wear something like that? But I didn't know we were going shooting. And then when I said, "Oh, we're going shooting, should I, change my outfit?" He's like, "No, I like the outfit." And then guess what happened? The shell went down my shirt. So yeah, guys, don't ever wear one. Don't trust any. Don't if ladies, if a guy says, "Oh, that looks nice," and it really likes the outfit, and you guys are going to do another activity, don't trust him. He's not going to tell you the truth, and you're going to learn the lesson the hard way. But anyways, yes, I have. To answer your question, yes.
Needless to say, you got burned on that date.
Well, I mean, so you guys know, that's the one who ate that the chicken that was not fully cooked. Not
Now
on
we're
purpose.
getting the whole story. We're getting the whole. The chicken came after the bullet. So, but my point is that the first shot is always the closest, and even though you might have a tight grouping, they're always just a little bit off from where the initial shot was.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a blessing that it didn't drift in the other direction, because there were two more shots after that first one hit his ear.
Yeah, that's what. Oh, sorry,
involved. Go ahead. Oh, I'm reading what Sweetie said there.
Okay. Allegedly, there was a second person involved from what a few lives from TikTok who were there at the rally this evening. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised because I do know that there are people who are that psychotic and do this alone, but it just seems, sometimes they have a partner in this. It wouldn't surprise me if they had a partner in this. Or someone who kind of encourage it, because I've seen, and I'm sure you guys have seen, where I know, like, I mean, there's idiots on Reddit, but there was like someone on Reddit going, "Oh, I really hope someone does it, and it wouldn't even be that long in line." I could see a bunch of idiots like fostering, like, "Yeah, go do it, bro." A group of idiots going, "Do it, do it, do it," and then you get someone who's like touched in the head and like, "Sure, I'll do it." You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happened, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, but everybody, like I said, a lot of people just talk trash and talk hyperbole and move on in that direction.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not
But
saying that like, oh, yeah, but I would like to know. I'm not trying to say, oh, that they caused it, but I'm just trying to say, like, I would like to know, okay, if there was anybody else who was involved in it, and again, I wouldn't be shocked if someone had some of the crazy. I feel like they get encouraged, like you said, they get emboldened because some other idiot emboldens them. But again, it also just depends on what you say too, but I don't know.
I wouldn't mind if both sides got together and said, "Look, we're gonna restart this whole process. We're gonna get two different nominees, and we're gonna have our vote in 2025, and we need 2 new nominees, somebody younger than 70. So
What
I
I would
would
like to see is I would like to see people get together and say, you know what, we're done talking like this. We're done, like, and it's got to come from within. I would like to see people go, you know what, now that we've kind of, had a reality check and seen this kind of happen, we're not going to just sit there and go, oh my gosh, we need to assassinate someone to, to have our country okay. You know what I mean? I wish people would stop doing that. I wish people go, you know what, that is insane. What is wrong with you? Why would you try to, usurp again the citizens' right to vote and their right to choose? What is, I would like to see that kind of a thing, something like where people start, having a change of heart. That's the word I'm looking for. I would like to see a change of heart in people. That's what I would like this to do. I would like to see a change in heart, and kind of like people kind of had after 9/11, where there was this change of heart and realization of what really mattered, what truly mattered in life, and that, again, that we are American, regardless of where we come from. There should be, care for one another. There should be, like, some heart. I'm gonna have to turn off my thing real quick, so if you can take over for me for a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, I'm looking at Sweetie's comments that says, also, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if this rattled Biden a little bit too. He's already being reevaluated by his own party, but this could even scare him enough to back out on his own. He's not backing out on his own. I don't think that he would back out on his own, even for this, because, there's absolutely nothing that indicates that Biden is going to give up where he's at. I don't know that that the party has any other recourse. There's nothing they can do. They've already made him the nominee. The only thing they can do to get him to not be there is to either have him step down, or if he went quietly in the night, and that happened before his election. And if somebody had a nefarious plan, a la what just happened to Trump, well, that's out the window now too, because the complexion of how they're going to be doing things has changed. So, no, he's not stepping down. They I don't know what they can do, but if they do something, it is not going to be according to the rules. It's not going to be something, if Biden is replaced as the nominee, that is. Um, they can't do it without declaring him unfit to be there, and they're not going to do that. They're not going to say that they made a mistake. They have never, Democrats have never admitted to making a mistake in their life, and he's a choice that they all made. And part of me thinks that it's like, okay, this will be fun for the first year, but then because he's 80, then Kamala Harris can be there and take over, and that's really what we wanted. No, he's like a barnacle. He's not going away. He's latched on, and he is not going. Neither is Jill. Jill is not going on. She has no intention of pulling him down, no matter how high he gets propped up. She's not doing it. No.
And I do want to just really quick read her comment.
Sure.
Also, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if this rattles Biden a bit too. He's already been being being reevaluated by his own party, but this could even scare him enough to back out on his own. I don't know, because if it seems like he's got like something wrong. And I don't mean like something wrong as in touched in the head. I just mean like as in, old age, something like that. So if he has something like that wrong, I don't know if he would have, what would you call that? The insight to see that, what, hey, maybe I should back down. I don't know if he'd really have that at that moment with his faculties, but maybe.
No,
but yeah,
when asked, when they asked him in the press conference whether or not he thought Kamala Harris could take over, if for some reason he could not, mental capacity. Good going, sweetie.
Thank you.
If she could step in, if for any reason he would not be able to go, and he said, I would not have picked Vice President Trump if I didn't believe in her capabilities.
Well, then maybe he's there. That's what he thinks about Trump.
Oh, well, here's the thing. You get to a certain age, you want to say toast, but you wind up repeating the word car over and over again. And nobody knows what you're talking about when you want car with jelly. And you hear car with your ears, but you're interpreting toast because you're just that old. Okay. So, he knows exactly what he's talking about. It's just that what his mouth is saying is not what he's understanding, if you know what I mean. So he didn't catch that and kept on rolling with his conversation. He did catch it when he introduced the president of Ukraine as Putin. He caught that one. So he turned that around after he made that mistake. But not all of them are happening, which means that his mental capacity is within question. And, his entire party is turning on him to get him to do that. Before Trump, you could do just about anything to embarrass a politician to drop out of a race. Here's a picture of this senator with a girl sitting on his knee, and she's wearing a T-shirt. Ooh, I'm dropping out of the race. And, comes out, and they try to do that to Trump. Listen to Trump say he wants to grab them by the you-know-what. Yeah, you'll let him grab you by you can grab him by the taco or whatever. And he's like, that was locker room talk. And that was it. And all of a sudden, it's like, the rules changed. All of a sudden, you couldn't say anything bad. And they tried their best to embarrass him into dropping out of the race. He's like, I don't care. People like me or not. I don't care at all. And now they realize that, it just it can work for them if somebody tells them something, and so they ignore it too. It's like we have to pass the bill in order to for you to read the bill. We have to pass it, so you have to pass it in order to see it. But that's not what the law says. It's too late. We passed the bill. You can read it now. So
to me, that should be like a sign too to like, okay, you know what, you're out. You're done. We're done. We're not going to vote for you. It's okay to do that. Stop voting for people who do those things.
Yeah. Adam Schiff was like, we've got the goods on Trump every week, every day on news. We've got the news on Trump. He's not sworn in. We've got the goods on Trump. I've seen enough in the back rooms, in the files that I can't discuss right now that would put him behind bars for years. There is a ton of evidence. They get him on Capitol Hill, sworn in. I haven't seen anything. And that's the guy who's in charge of intelligence, Adam Schiff. And so
that's kind of ironic.
The thing is like they know now, no matter what they say, even if somebody calls them on it, there's nothing that anybody can do about it, really, if they're not breaking the law. Trump didn't break the law when he said that to that interview guy in the back of the bus on a hot mic. He was not breaking the law. He was not breaking the law when he was walking back while girls were dressing at the Miss Teen pageant because he was the owner and promoter of it. He was allowed backstage. He didn't break any laws. It was creepy. It really trends in the wrong direction. It's not illegal. But what does that have to do with foreign policy? What does that have to do with anything else? That's the question, and you've got to be able to judge these people on what the job they're doing. When Adam Schiff, a member of Congress, a person who's in the intelligence agency, makes all of these statements in front of the news people that there's all this evidence, and then turns around and says publicly in a sworn testimony that there isn't, there should be questions, but nobody's questioning him about that, and nobody's questioning what happened. So why was I on this? Mental capacity. I still don't know how I got here. Back to you.
Okay, back to me. Definitely on the spot here.
Margaret, back to you.
And then my laptop goes out again. Okay, sorry, good. It's back to you again. I'll be right back.
Back to me. But yeah, Joe Biden's mental capacity was not why he was placed in office. He's got a team around him that does all kinds of things. And you know this because he mentions them all the time. I've been given a list of reporters to
Okay,
ask
there you go. I'm
questions.
back
I've
again.
been I've been told not to talk about this, but I'm going to do it anyway. These people are going to be mad at me. 76
Here we
and
go.
Rosales are where I get my news. I am so sorry for you, Michael. I really am.
And then you know what? There is really something wrong with the news if we're where you're getting your news from.
If we are
To
your
be honest,
trusted source,
Michael.
maybe this is the start of something.
To be honest, maybe this is the start. You know what? That should be our tagline. We're your best shot if the mainstream media doesn't get it together. So stop being so apathetic. Something like that.
The thing is, he's got a team, and now they're complaining about his team won't play nice with the reporters, and so the reporters are turning on him, and it's because, and this is just speculation, somebody somewhere high up that we don't know anything about has said it's okay to take him down, because just a week ago, right before this whole presidential debate. They're talking about his mental capacity is this. Donald Trump is the one who's mentally insane. Donald Trump is the one who's too old to be running for office. Donald Trump says, well, you know what? We can, they can actually press charges on Biden for this and having the documents in Delaware. Oh, you know what? We've judged that he's too old and feeble to be tried. So, yeah. Donald Trump had some papers as well. Guilty. So, yeah, it's crazy how, within a week's time that they have turned on him. And it'll be interesting to see now if he's been successful, if Trump has been successfully martyred. Base cloud chasing network with Mrs. and Rosales.
I like that. He's like trying to keep the humor mild. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it.
But yeah, has he been martyred enough? If you're on the left, I want to know. Let me know in the comments. Has Trump been martyred enough to earn your vote now? Is that enough to turn you against Biden? That's a good question. I think that'll be answered this week. A lot of people are claiming false flag on social media, and that's a phrase that comes out every time news breaks.
Yeah, I mean,
Regardless of what it is.
I'm not shocked that people feel that way anytime they see news because, I mean, really, how many times has it been a false flag? There's no trust in the media, and especially, I mean, I'll get into this on a conspiracy stream I'm going to be doing later on, but there have been so many. Dang, I lost my thought. I was going somewhere. Don't. Yeah.
I was worried that my son wouldn't get a chance to experience history. But now I'm pointing things out to him, and it's like, look, this is a moment in time that you will remember for the rest of your life. He's like, cool. And then goes back to TikTok and whatever. He's back on Discord playing a game. My other son's buried in Minecraft and whatnot. So, but yeah, you remember these things when you get older, when you're younger. What does Sweetie say there? I appreciate it
See.
too. Honestly, I never thought I'd see something like this in my lifetime. Nobody wants to see something like this in their lifetime, really. But these things will happen from time to time. This is actually the second presidential type person assassination attempt I've seen in my lifetime. Also saw a Pope get taken down by a bullet, and the Pope mobile changed to fully enclosed to glass. So this is really, I think, going to affect these Trump rallies. And that's a side effect that's good for it's good for the Democratic Party because the Trump rallies can't be so big anymore. They're going to be smaller and more controlled, less open air spaces, simply for security's sake.
That's the thing, though. Now I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes with the next one. But part of me doesn't see that. That almost doesn't seem like the kind of person that Trump is. I mean, he's the kind of person who there's an assassination attempt on him, and he gets up and does a fist bump, and like you say, goes fight, fight, fight as he's like being escorted off. It's like he's kind of
he
more
has
like
no sense. He has no sense, you know. You know what? My reaction time is terrible too. I could get hit 3 times before I realize I'm in a fight. But you know, he is not list. He's made it a history of not listening to the right people. And when you get shot in the ear, the right people to listen to are the Secret Service. And when the Secret Service tell you to keep your head down, you don't pop your head out and go fight, fight, fight. That's not what you do, you know, especially if there was a chance that there was a second shooter, like you said. You know, if there's a second person rolling around waiting for him to pop back up, then boom, there he goes, you know. But you know, he doesn't listen to everybody all the time. Uh, he does sometimes, and sometimes he listens to the wrong people because he's got the wrong people around him. But you know, at this point in time, I thought that was really, really not the right move. I'm not saying it's inappropriate. It let everybody know he was okay. It let everybody at the rally know he was fine. You know, it's good to let people know that you're fine and that's you know, it's safe enough to fist bump, but it was not, I don't think, the right thing to do for his own safety, simply because just because they took one down doesn't mean there wasn't another out there. And
right.
now we know from Sweetie and her TikTok connection that there may have actually been a second person around. You know, so
and I want to get to these comments, and I'm going to make a point real quick. But
sure.
one, Michael, that's hilarious that he says, "Sweetie, if you're new here, hit the like and subscribe." See, this is why I never have to say like and subscribe, because like I love that. Like my I hate calling you guys viewers, because obviously we all met on MSK's thing, so you know we're more like buddies. But I mean, like, you know, you know, you guys all stand. Well, I guess you guys don't stand for me, insult me half the time. But you know, I mean, you guys do the like and subscribe for me, so that I don't have to. So I appreciate that. Sweetie, okay, as a millennial, I'm tired of living through so many historical events. Yeah, I mean, it seems like we've been living through some pretty, you know, I would say some pretty insane ones. But, you know, I mean, I think that we've also had some pretty, you know, amazing ones. I think, you know, being able to see the year 2000 and see the turn of the, what would you call it? The turn of the millennium. I mean, that's pretty, you know, inspiring. I mean, I don't know, now everybody's glued to their smartphones, but I feel like we got to see the smartphone. I mean, you know, and see that. So that's kind of an interesting progression. Now we're starting, well, it's hard, as I'd like to say stuff about VR and things like that, but it's hard to say that when I'm seeing it being used for corruption. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to really say anything good about those things now. You know, let's go back. Michael, relatable. Thanks, Michael. Happy to be here and support. Thank you. And then let me go, put a couple more. Here we go. More clout for our favorite clout chaser. Thank you, Michael. I agree on the safety aspect results, but you got to admit, that may be his most iconic moment with the fist in the air. What a Chad. And that was basically the point I wanted to make. I appreciate and I get your point, what you're saying, because, you know, that is, you don't know if the danger's done, but there is a picture at what was it? The country music thing where there's the shooting. And there is an iconic photo from it. And it is a man. And I don't know what happened to this guy. I don't know if he was killed or not, but in the rain of bullets, he was standing up with his beer and he was flipping off the shooter. And I don't know if he got it, but I do know that there's something about that. To me, that just screams America. And that is what it means to be an American, is you do not let people scare you into giving up your rights. You do not let people scare you into silence. And and I know people are allowed to have their own opinion about Trump. There are things that I don't like that he did, but for the most part, I really liked him as a president. And I'm using new lingo, guys, zillennial lingo. So I don't know if I say stand is the right word. I would like to say I stand for Trump, but I don't know if that's correct, because there are things that I criticize him on. But I liked that he did that. I mean, I wouldn't have wanted him to get martyred doing that. I wouldn't have wanted him to get injured it. And I think hindsight being 2020 and knowing he survived, I think if I found out that he ended up getting assassinated because he did that, I would not have been, that would have been just completely tragic. But what I'm saying, like hindsight again being 2020, seeing that, okay, or, saying, okay, he's safe, and knowing, I guess not hindsight being 2020, that's not the right one. Knowing now, being in the future, knowing that we're past it, I admired that. And I kind of like that he kind of did say that, hey, he's not going to let them bully him into being feared and silenced. And I know when I say them, people are going to go, you talking about this? I know I'm talking about the psychopaths. I am only talking about psychopaths right now. Anyone who would try to take away someone's right to vote, right to elect their candidate. Like I'm talking about specifically psychopaths, someone who would be so evil to try to assassinate or condone it. I'm talking about that specific group. I am not talking about an entire political affiliation. So I really want to make that clear. Because I do believe that, and that is my true feelings. But I do like that. I'm not that, you have to let those people know you are not going to trample my rights. You are not going to, make me cower. And that is what I think Americans are built on. And that's why I do want to eventually, we will go back and we'll talk about the Declaration of Independence. I know we didn't get to the reading, guys. Sorry, I got crazy. But we do need to go back because I think people sometimes forget that our founding fathers did not know how it was going to turn out for them. When our country was started, we did not know. They did not know how it was going to all come about. But, they were brave and fought for their rights, their God-given rights. And that is what, I do enjoy and like seeing when I see people, like I said, like at that one shooting where the guy stood there and flipped off the shooter. It was, you're not going to make me cower. And we need to be a little bit like that. We need to stand up again and protect our rights. Again, we have that First Amendment for a reason. We need to protect our First Amendment rights. We need to peaceably. God, I'm shocking to the day that I have to stress that, but I've just seen so many mobs that it's like, I just feel like beating my head against the wall saying, we peaceably. You have that right to peaceably assemble. You have again, we've talked about all these different things, do them, get involved, and don't be apathetic because we're Americans, guys. Doesn't matter what you vote for. We're Americans.
The thing is that there are people out there who see that exact same thing and take that as a sign that this whole thing was staged, that he was never in really any real danger, that the news of other people dying and the shooter dying, it's all just staged just to get him, just to show that he was attempted, and that type of movement is going to inspire both kinds of reactions. So they're going to inspire people to say, yes, that's bravery. But it'll also inspire some people to say, no, that's staged, because that wouldn't happen. They wouldn't let that happen to him. They wouldn't let him do these things if he was in real danger.
And to me, I just want to say, do you guys not know who Trump is? He is insane. He is kind of, and that is what I think people like are kind of drawn to, is they like, to me, how do I explain this? I'm going to offend Americans when I say this. I know I am, but it is what it is. And I think that Americans, there's a reason why this has always been kind of our, when they have that, when you go to Europe and other countries, they'll say, oh, the ugly American thing, because Americans, and I don't know, people really realize that as much anymore, but they would go to other countries. Yeah. They would go to other countries and basically, go, who are you to talk? Who are you to trample on my freedom of speech? Who are you to tell me this? Who are you to tell me that? We would take that attitude that we've grown up with and take it to the European countries and on the other countries. And that is really why I like being in my country. I like staying here because I don't want to go and really listen to anybody. I am a red-blooded American, and no one can tell me that I don't have my rights. There are reasons why people go, oh, why don't you go and visit here? I'm like, because I'd be a woman there and I know how they treat women there. And I'm not going to keep my mouth shut. I'm not going to listen to them. You don't get to tell me what to do. I've grown up this way. So, I like that aspect about him. I feel like he kind of embodied that. If you don't tell me what to say, what to do. And I did, I think that is really, and that's, I think, is what drew us to him. And I do think, I think part of him is, crazy. He's kind of crazy. I'm sorry, guys. He's kind of, but you know what? I like that kind of crazy. I like the kind of crazy where, you're not gonna cower because someone decided to try to trample on your rights. And I'm not saying if he had ducked and didn't do that would be wrong. I think that how he reacted is how he chose to react. Either way, if he had chose to react and kept his head down and listened more to his Secret Service versus if he had reacted as he did, I'm not saying either way is wrong or right. I'm just saying I see, that's him. To me, I'm like, that makes sense. That's just who he is. I do want to read.
No, that's totally Trump. That is very, very much Trump. Like I said before, he doesn't listen to everybody who's around him, and he doesn't always do the most pertinent thing. But he's not going to pass up an opportunity for a photo shoot. He's not going to, he stood in front of a church and held up a Bible, and so to take a picture to show that he had a Bible. I don't know who gave him the Bible. It doesn't matter about the Bible. The point is that he will take an opportunity for a photograph. And if magazines and newspapers were actually still a thing and print media hadn't died off a sad, pathetic death, Sunday's newspaper and the Monday magazines would all have that picture on the cover of it. And it makes perfect sense for that. However, it's going to die down over the weekend because this is now the time of social media, and that picture is going to be everywhere within the next hour and be on T-shirts for sale by Monday. I'll send you the link.
Yeah, I mean, just like the, and I'll probably purchase it. I don't know if you guys can see. I have so much. When Hillary Clinton was calling his voters or whatever you would call
deplorables.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was the first thing I bought was that shirt, that sweatshirt that says deplorable since 1776. So and I think I have some other ones. I have some adorable deplorable pants somewhere. So, yeah, exactly. It's slap it on a shirt and I'll wear it. Let me just see what Sweetie says real quick. It definitely says a lot for a man to stand up from literally getting shot at and continuing on when Biden can't even take the stairs without it threatening his life falling up or down them. Yeah, exactly. WZ, hey, hope you're still here. Hope I haven't scared you off in this chat. Hello, Freedom Lady. Hi, WZ. Who's Trump? Well, according to Walter, he's someone who thinks I ain't, and you could fill in the rest of it.
WZ, it's Orange Man Bad. That'll clue you in.
Yeah, hi, Michael. There are some things that we will go over and discuss that last comment you made, because there are some things that are not true, but this is not the stream for that one. And also, there is no way that guy offed himself. That knot was in the back of the neck. And that's not how it gets tied. It's either left or right. So there you go. Just got banned from Twitter and probably have the FBI on my tail, but I don't care. It's true. It's true. That is, you can't tie a knot like that. If you do something, that's not I off myself way. Just putting it out there. Conspiracy, allegedly, whatever CYA thing I need to say to cover CYA myself. But you know what? It's my freedom of speech. I should be allowed to say, hey, you know what? This is really suspicious, guys. I don't know if this actually, was his own doing. And plus, when you really look into the prison system and just how,
it's you call
how would you say it?
You call it a conspiracy, but it's not any more weird than the Trump campaign manager who committed suicide in a park by putting 2 bullets in the back of his head. Not any stranger at all.
How do you sit there and go, oh yeah, you know what? There was another case like that. I forgot there was another person who they did something similar. This is like a different case, and it was between this guy came home and he saw his fiance was dead, but apparently he had some ties to like some government type things and some rich family, and I think she was like stabbed 39 times or something like that. And they're like, yeah, that was suicide. I'm like, yeah, I don't think you could stab yourself in the head 39 times. I'm just saying that doesn't seem really like something that just happens naturally, like even in a frenzy thing. I think she stabbed herself in they claimed that, oh, she stabbed herself in the back of the head. And I'm like, no, they would, that, what? No,
Well, what
no.
about all those Boeing guys who, those whistleblowers that keep getting thrown, wrong word, who keep jumping out of windows right before they testify?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna, okay, well, yeah, God. And then there's like another case. There's like a celebrity, there was a coroner, they called him the celebrity coroner. And he basically, or someone whose death, he's like, oh, this is a homicide. And then 30 days later, they said, oh, he died of mysterious causes. We have a new coroner. Oh, by the way, they said it was like not homicide. It's like poison or something else. I can't remember what it was, like a flu or something. And you're kind of going, yeah, that's not obvious. The rest of us city, you didn't even wait. To me, I'm just sitting here going, you didn't even wait long enough to, for us to maybe have some plausible deniability here, guys. So, just like some of these things, I'm just like, you can't get, oh, no, you're speculating. Like, well, of course I'm speculating. Why wouldn't I speculate? Why wouldn't I be concerned here?
What kind of BS are you talking about, WZ?
Let's see, joking.
I'm talking about more motorcycle rallies.
Let's see, joking aside, I'm glad he isn't dead, but I hate that Trump's craziest fans will use this to justify. I'm not saying going, can't see us. I mean, the only thing I can see them using it is to say,
listen, if they pick up a few more Proud Boys, I'm fine with that. Okay. There's no rational person who would join a group like that and sit around and plot. But you know what it does? It does open up a lot of people to finding themselves being courted by undercover agents saying, we ought to do something about this. And so don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Don't go to the rallies. Don't go to the meeting. Delete the email when it comes in. Don't take that message from a stranger that says, this ain't right. We need to do something. We need to take our country back. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a trap.
Yeah, I had someone try to do that. I don't know. That's apparently someone. Well, I think someone did that to them. I don't know if they really. Because some people are going, oh, they think that, because I looked at their thing and I guess there's like a Fed group or alleged Fed group. Like they think this one group's a Fed group that was talking to this. And so I went and checked this crazy person's page and I'm like, okay, apparently I'm like, oh, wow, you're right. They are talking to like an alleged Fed group. I'll say an alleged. We don't know if it's real or not, But then I don't know. I don't know if they were like trying to do recruitment and I'm telling you guys, the funniest thing ever is like when I get these weirdo, every once in a while I'll get a really weirdo, like you said, Proud Boy type of person. And I love telling them that I'm half Mexican. That's like my favorite thing because they get so pissed off. And to me, I'm just thinking, well, how stupid are you? You sit there and you think you know your race so well and you can't even tell when you have someone who's mixed among you. Not mixed as in I'm in the group, but I mean, you're like, oh, someone of the same, like, no, fool. You can't even tell. You guys are dumb. You can't even tell. To me, there's no dumber racist than someone who can't even like tell when someone is mixed. Because if you were so wonderful and great and you were so superior, how come you can't even tell when someone's like not even stupid people. Anyways, but yeah, don't fall for that, guys. And don't be that way, guys. I mean, that's another thing. I don't think any of you guys are like that. But if anybody ever stumbles upon this and is like that, what's wrong with you? Stop being stupid. Why are you being stupid? We're Americans. We are not tied to each other by anything more than a set of ideals. We have a set of ideals and beliefs in freedom. That is what ties us together. We are not tied by race, ethnicity, any kind of background. We are like a nation of immigrants here. And yes, I'm specifically talking about legal ones, guys. And I know someone's going to get mad, but I'm sorry. No, you should come in the front door. You don't come in the back door. You come in the front door here. But come on, guys. We have a set of ideals. We believe we have a set of rights. We the people. We are not this race or we that race or we, this other thing. Stop being stupid. And on top of that, if there's anybody who is really that dumb, are you so stupid that you don't realize that people of all races vote for Trump? Are you that stupid? Stop being stupid. What's wrong with you guys? And again, I am addressing a specific group of crazies. Sorry,
And
I went on that.
there's not going to be a civil war. Yeah, there's it only people who are looking for clicks are going to be talking about civil war, and there's going to be some signs that will let you know when something like that is happening. Okay, yes, there are a lot of people selling prepper stuff out there, but that's not it. That's not the sign that things are going to go bad. That's just people taking advantage of other people's anxieties. When you start seeing advertisements for things now with EMP shielding, built-in battery, and solar panels so that it can be charged, that's when you need to worry, because there's if something does happen, that's the first thing that's going to go is the electrical system, and everything that's not shielded is going to be wiped out by an EMP. And the only way you're going to get your news is if you buy something that's completely shielded from EMPs, has a battery pack attachment to it, even if it's a coffee maker, and a solar panel for recharging. So once you see espresso makers with battery packs, EMP shieldings, and solar panels, that's when you should worry about a civil war. In America, that is.
Mm-hmm. And real quick, Sweetie says another form of clickbait. I hate to bring this man up over on the Clout Chasers channel. Now, see, I'm offended, WZ, because Michael called my channel the Clout Chasers channel. So now we got, two competing Clout Chasers channel? You guys got to pick one. Who's the Clout Chasers channel? Is it mine or his? You guys got to figure it out, guys.
I don't speak about the other channels. So.
So yeah. So I don't know why they're bringing up a civil war. I don't really see this. Okay. Again, remember we talked about earlier about being psychopaths? If you're a crazy person, I guess.
Fanatics who are causing violence. I've never seen that.
I'm kind of talking. Yeah, exactly. I see more. I mean,
I see more violence happening from people that believe that that we're always 10 years away from the polar caps melting. That's where I see more violence from. I see more violence from PETA. They kill more animals every year than every shelter put together, because they love animals. I see more violence from hypocrites than I do from people who with staunch beliefs, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly, Rosales. And I agree with that. I don't really, I'm trying to think of, I went to the inauguration, guys. Okay. I went to the inauguration. And it is kind of funny, because I think that is actually really a big eye opener when you go to certain and you know what? We were talking about this earlier and I wanted to bring this up. I remember when I was like a little kid, I was little, and I remember my uncle telling me, and of course he's talking about it being a significant date, that it was going to be the year 2000, and that no matter what happened the next day, whatever I did that day would be considered history. It didn't matter what anybody did that day. It would be history because it was a historical event. And I didn't really grasp that, but now I kind of get it. It's like, every day we live in American history. This is history. I mean, there might not be a major event, every day, but we are living history. And, you can make your mark on history. And I hope you make your mark in positive ways. Let me just put that out there. Please do make marks on history in positive, productive, fruitful ways. Not like this moron, this evil psychopath did. That is not a positive, productive way to make your mark on history. Just so you guys know, in case there's a crazy out there listening to me, that is not a positive, productive way to make your mark on history.
Everybody loves the future, because that is where we will spend the rest of our lives.
Yes, exactly. I should have played that before we started this, because it feels like deja vu right now. I'm talking about Trump. Yeah, okay, so we read that. So if someone calls for a civil war, stop following them. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Now I'm sitting here thinking something else. Wait, hold on. Now I get the reference. Sorry, guys. I'm being a little oblivious there. Who's gonna roast him? Okay. So he said, I agree that this shouldn't cause more division. It should unite us to be better, but we know it won't. I don't believe that, WZ. And I know sometimes Jaded accuses me of being delusional, but maybe I am. Maybe I am a little bit, where I want to believe and have hope that it can still unite us. That doesn't have to It doesn't have to be for the worse. It can be for the better. We can make it for the better. All of us here in this group, we don't have to fall for the division. We don't. We really don't. The
we don't have to
Democrats.
agree.
Yeah, exactly. The Democrats, you don't have to fall for the division. If you are a Democrat, you can be like that doctor with Reagan. You can be a staunch Democrat and acknowledge an evil act and say and stand with America and say it is wrong. That doesn't change that you are a Democrat. Same with the conservative. You can stand there and say we are all Americans, and I do not want to have I do not want to create a civil war. I want us to come together and be stronger as a country and realize that we are not each other's enemies, and talk about that we have rights to pick our candidate, vote for our candidate. We have those rights. It is important to run our country without sitting there and going, well, I guess Democrats want to wipe us off the face of the earth. Let's start something. That's what I'm saying. We don't have to be that. We can unite. We are Americans, and then
America.
you already have.
Hell yeah.
Exactly. You already have. That's why I have the flag in the background. I'm like, someone needs to drop the flag in the background for me. Okay, let's see. I want that on a shirt.
It's the new t-shirt coming Monday. I'll have a link ready.
I'm going to put that in my background too. I like that. Yeah. See, it's flag in the background. I love it. I just love it. Let me go ahead and,
if you see this photo in a news platform and it says Trump celebrating after sack race win, they're fake news.
God, now I'm going to be paranoid. I think someone did that. Okay. Okay. Let's see. So WZ 76 basically envisions a scene in Spider-Man 2001 when all the New Yorkers fight off the green card. I was going to bring that up, and I was talking about, Gina and I were talking about Spider-Man and removing certain things from movies because of, events. And I wanted to bring that up, and I love that you brought that up, WZ, because I've always loved that scene. That has been like my favorite scene. I don't think there's a movie scene that has ever topped that. I love that when all the New Yorkers or did that. If you're going to mess with one of us, you're going to mess with all of us. That's what I feel like saying as Americans. We need to be like that. If you're going to mess with one of us, you're going to mess with all of us because we're all American. Don't care where you lie on the political spectrum. We're all American. Okay. That's it. That's the only title, and we don't need people, trying to terrorize us. Mr. Blank says 1776 for Secretary of Defense. I appreciate the vote of confidence, Mr. Blanks. This pick is going to be used if Trump wins the election. Yeah, exactly. I could see it being used if he wins the election. That would be his backdrop and everything.
I want to see him do the talking because apparently he did do an interview afterwards or spoke to the press after and declared that he did get shot and that his ear was damaged. But he's fine and he's healthy and he's going to keep going. But I wonder, did he tell them, don't clean the blood off, leave it there? I want to talk to the people with the blood on my face, because if he did that, that would be a whole lot more dramatic, to see him, with the never back down, no retreat, no surrender. This is going to be big for the ratings kind of Trump, esque sort of thing. So,
and I could see him doing that, like doing the get my shoes, but don't touch my face. I want to show them, like, how hardcore I am.
Yeah, well, I don't like walking without shoes either. That's an old person thing to do. Yeah. If his shoes fell off when he hit the ground, it's because that was not a planned thing for him to do. That's the one thing I want to point out there for all of you naysayers out there who think this is a false flag and they planned to do this and that he was in no real danger. His shoes wouldn't have come off. He would have been wearing running shoes and not the not the slip-ons, the penny loafers that he had on. They wouldn't have flown right off as soon as he hit the deck. So, yeah,
or at the very least, I think he would have, like you said. I mean, like it sounds like, hey, I don't want. I want to walk with some dignity and have my shoes on. You know what I mean? Like you said, the shoes wouldn't have come off.
Yeah, I think he got shot. So
yeah, I mean,
and
yeah, it looks like
have you seen outdoor
look
staging
at
though?
that right there. Can you see it?
Those those steps are made of steel netting kind of thing. It's like a grid, a grate. And if you're walking on that barefoot, it's not comfortable. I'd want my shoes too.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. Um, no,
And
I don't think this was a false flag, guys. I don't know what kind of psychopath did it, but I just don't feel like it was a false
you
flag. Like I
you
said,
you want to see his acting level? Go back and see when he was in the WWE and he was facing Vince McMahon and taking him down and doing the falls there. You'll see a drastic difference between a younger Trump and an older Trump. Taking a fall. He's not. He wasn't acting when he hit the ground. He knew he was gonna. He'd gotten hit. There's a burn that happens when you get shot, especially grazed in that kind of a grazing wound. It winds up burning, is what it does, and it burns more than it hurts. Oh,
and
Cole,
yeah,
you have a good night too, sir.
yeah. Sweet dreams, Cole. Take care, and we'll talk. We'll chat tomorrow. And
Yeah,
I
get
do.
some rest. Get some rest,
Yeah.
buddy.
Let's pull up that video again. Because like the video, he seems. And again, we're not going to have sound because I don't know how to do it with the sound. Let me see if I can. I can get. Okay. I think they probably have the video on YouTube. Let me see if I can pull it up on YouTube real quick. Let's see, Trump shooting. Let's see if that pulls up. Let's see if they have this just a clip. Let's see. Let me just see if I. Okay. Oh shit. God. Okay. Yeah. You see, it's like. Okay. So hold on. I'm gonna do the share again. There's not gonna have the sound, but we'll have to survive without it. I guess that was a poor choice of words. Sorry, guys. Let me go ahead and present real quick, and then we could watch it. And again, sorry, there's not going to be any sound. So here we go. So, okay, we're going to go back a little bit. So you hear the popping right here, and then you hear him touch his ear. So watch. He's talking, and then you hear popping. You see him grab his ear, duck. Then Secret Service finally goes over there, grabs him. You see the people looking around. The people know to duck. Are the people like hear the popping? Like I said, you see the veterans in the background. Again, I'm sorry. I hope this doesn't traumatize anyone, but I think it's important. See, yeah, you hear that guy right here? He starts, yeah, see? They all notice, they all hear, there you go. And then it stopped. Thank God there wasn't more carnage. You just hear you hear so many bullets going off, and you just hear the panic on these poor people. I mean, that, how dare someone? I mean, how dare someone do that? Sorry guys, getting a little choked up there. For these poor people, I there is something really just beyond. It just goes beyond evil. To do that to innocent people, to people who what? Because they want to vote for Trump. They're evil somehow. They're bad people. They deserve this because Trump's running. I mean, and then again, it's like, oh, if he's such like this, he's not even going to win because I keep seeing all this other stuff. Why would you go through with this? And that just tells me about that person. Again, this isn't telling me about everyone else. This is just specifically telling me about that person and anyone that would, condone those actions. But yeah, you could see the people, they're looking around, they're confused, they're recognizing. You see Trump kind of hears it. And then he grabs his ear. You see where, and then ducks. Secret Service comes out and ducks. So yeah, it's terrible. Yes, WZ. There were a couple of people who got injured, and I believe one person has passed away, besides the shooter. So
that's my understanding as well.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and check to see if anybody. Let's see what WC said something else. Let's see, what did he say? I might have missed it. Yeah. Okay. No, it was just the same comment. So hold on. Let me just go. Let me check the news real quick. Yeah. Let's see. What do we say? Rally goers. If there's any injuries, casualties. I don't know what to say. Let's see. Yeah. So far, I think this was as recent as like. Let me say. What does it say? 7 p.m. So okay, it's like 5 minutes ago. Yeah, shooter's dead and an attendee was killed. So 2 attendees are critically injured. And so Trump is fine. Yeah.
Hey, somebody on Twitter updated my design.
Here.
You want to share my screen real quick?
Oh yeah, let me pull that up real quick. So yeah, WZ, there's 2 people. Just to answer your question real quick, it sounds like there's 2 people who are still critically injured. Well, one rally goer has sadly passed away. Was sadly, tragically killed, unnecessarily, just tragic and unnecessarily. And then, of course, the shooter is currently in talks with his maker. Because again, and I know not everyone. Look, guys, I don't hide this. There is a God, and you do have to meet your maker someday. And I wouldn't want to meet my maker doing this. That's for sure. I wouldn't want that to be the way that I had to go. And stand there in front of God and just say this evil act. Okay, anyways, let me go back to this all this thing and share it. What does it say? Nice try, losers. I love that. See, now that's something I could totally hear him saying too. Oh, that's what I think. I want that on a t-shirt. I want that on a mug. I want that, on a hat. I want that one. I want that as my background. I love that. Nice try, losers. That's funny. Because you can totally hear him saying that. I was surprised in his press conference they didn't say, like, instead of saying Trump says he's fine, I'm surprised Trump didn't say Trump says nice try, losers.
Oh, that's my AEW prediction. Look at that. That came up. I was trying to right click and save that. I'll do that later. But,
so yeah. Yeah, so I think I don't know, guys, is there any other I know I see some people are still watching, so I don't know if there's any other stuff you guys want to go over, if else get any other things you like to bring out. Here, let's see.
I don't know if you can hear my boy in the background. He's on Discord watching videos with his friends. They are totally clueless as to what's going on right now.
You know what though? Because isn't he kind of young? We don't have to say ages, but isn't he he's like on the younger side, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in high school. But
I'm kind of happy that he's like enjoying his time, because I feel like sometimes even in your teens, sometimes it's just we want them to enjoy their youth and not really having to deal with all the just insanity that's going on. You know what I mean? So I think even though, like you said, he's oblivious to the historical thing right now, it's probably a good thing. And I'm happy to hear that,
Oh, that's gross.
Oh gosh.
Pixelated picture of the shooter.
Is he expired?
Yes. Yes. and he looks a lot like them. You know those wrestling videos we show where they get all crimson masked up.
Oh, jeez.
That's what it looks like that. But you know it's not that.
Well, all I can say is I'm glad you stumbled upon it and not me. I don't want to see
Yeah.
that.
No. Well, some of the people I follow some more disturbing people.
Yeah.
That are not.
I know how that goes.
They
I know that
themselves are
goes.
not disturbing, but
Yeah.
they. Oh, somebody's made an accusation here and pulled up a Ukrainian driver's license saying that this is the person. I don't put any stock in this at all, but
Yeah.
no.
I don't know who it was. Yeah.
Right away, you're going to find a lot of people trying to stoke division and posting things up that are not true at all, and from one side or the other, and
Hmm.
the middle. You know, but you really take that. Uh, um, Take any of this with a grain of salt and wait for verification from everybody you hear. And as far as people that are out there who were at the rally thinking it was firecrackers and couldn't tell, 76 was right. You just can't tell what a gun sounds like unless you've heard a gun before. Um, and so, you know, don't dismiss it, right away when you hear somebody say, "Well, it sounded like firecrackers up over the hill up there." I didn't know what was going on, but until I saw the Secret Service come out of nowhere. But he waved at everybody, so everything's all good. You know,
Yeah.
it's not all good. Something bad happened, and some good people got hurt, and a bad person got hurt, and it's I wish I didn't know what a gun sounded like. Uh,
Yeah. And I
but
was gonna say I don't think that you could hear the sound, but just because you were bringing up, I just wanted to show again, and I know we just watched it, but now that you're back, I just want to kind of again show people like, okay, look at the reactions where he's talking. Here he's talking. You hear the sound. Look at people looking around. Look at them. And that guy, like again, that guy right there is talking, and he's the one who says, "I think get down, get down, get down." Or I don't know, he's either that Secret Service, but you could see how he's again. Sorry to look at so how he touches his ear. Watch. He does that like ouch, it hit his ear. This guy is So again, it's you see it. You know what I mean? You can see it. You can hear it, and it does sound like gunfire. But like we were talking about, it's if you don't know what it sounds like, if you're only used to it from like hearing it in the movies, you're not gonna pick it up. And I don't know if the guy was using a silencer, but then that causes a whole other issue or not. It changes the sound a little bit too. So yeah.
No, I don't think he was. I don't think he
I don't
was
I
using
don't
a
know if he was or
silencer.
wasn't.
No,
I don't know if he was or wasn't, but I just wanted to point that out, that don't go by what the sound is in the movies, because the movies do a more theatrical sound. It's not like
what you have is the sound of the popping is consistent all the way through. When you have the first three shots, the other rounds followed after that, and then the one final one, which I assume was the Secret Service taking down the assailant. It all kind of sounded like the same pop. So his guns were just as muted, if you will, as the ones that were used to take him down. So that's why I don't think he had a silencer on, because there would have been an audible difference between the different shots, and they all kind of sounded the same. Now, I can't identify the shots. I'm not, the kind of person who can say, "Yeah, what you're hearing there is the sound of a 9mm 6.7 blade." I'm not one of those people. I don't know,
yeah.
but I do know that they sounded very familiar to each other, and which means that they were probably, I'm not even going to guess. I'm not even going to guess, because I have no way of knowing whether they were the same caliber or not. But
yeah. And like I said, I'm not saying that there was, but I just want people to realize that like I said, if there's whether it's just being used, whether there's a silencer, whether it's not going to have the same sound as a movie. They just don't sound like movie. It doesn't sound like a movie gunshot. It's not,
and WZ, he was not in the rally itself, he did not have access to that. He was on a roof somewhere else and was using a rifle for lack of a better word, snipe. Um, taking a shot from a long distance. And the fact that he caught him in the ear means that he was really good. So there's that. I'm not proud of him for taking the shot, but he was good enough to draw blood.
Yeah, and but again, like I said earlier, by the grace of God go I, because like you had said, that it almost would have been like, okay, they got his ear, and like you said, you get closer on the target. So, I mean, that's just one of those things that I'm just like, to me, I just like, if I don't know how the election's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen in the election, but I just know one thing. I know that if something's supposed to happen historically, you are not going to be able to change. How do I say this? Okay, and I hate to make this comparison because then I think people are going to think I'm trying to say that Trump is Paul the Apostle. I am not saying that Trump is Paul the Apostle, but I would just like to bring out how many times they tried to kill Paul the Apostle, and how many times it's like he was protected. And I'm just saying, guys, you can't. If people think they can take things into their own hands, like do like evil things like this, and you can't. But it just disgusts me. Like I said, the whole thing, it just disgusts me. And I'm saying God must have been watching out for Trump. And again, I am not saying that I don't know who's going to win the election. And I would like to say, no, I did not, Walter. I knew you guys would do this. You do this every single time. Trump is Paul the Apostle. Of course you guys would do that.
No, but the thing is that, God will look after everyone, regardless of the mistakes that they've made. And the apostles, a lot of them had really, really savory histories when it comes to, the life choices they made before they became apostles. Peter being he was he persecuted Christians, he killed them, he murdered them, and before he became an apostle. And so, the thing is, God doesn't need your permission to use you. So, and there's a Bible verse where the apostles are listening to a guy cast out demons in the name of Jesus, and they turn to Jesus and being all petty and real person like, and saying, he's not one of us. Should we stop him from doing this? And Jesus looked at his apostles like they were stupid and said, if he's doing it in my name, let him be. And so, because it's not that guy's power, it was Jesus's power. It was God's power. It wasn't the man's power, even though he was benefiting from it slightly. God doesn't need your permission to do good things, and you don't even have to be in it for the right reason for him to do it. There's a lot of televangelists out there who are doing the wrong thing for the wrong reason, and despite the fact that they're in it for the wrong reasons and possibly doing evil behind the scenes, they are doing God's work in a way that God intends for it to happen, regardless of what they're trying to do. They may be trying to fleece people out of all of their money, and God is going to find a way to bless the people that heard the word of God, not the person who's doing it. And eventually they'll reveal themselves as to what's going on. There was a pastor here in North Texas who had to step down from his big megachurch because of some things that he did. Joel Osteen caught all kinds of crap because when the flooding happened in Houston during that hurricane that one time, he closed his doors to people who needed a place to stay. He closed his megachurch because he didn't want people coming in and staying in opening it up as a shelter. And he caught all kinds of flack for that. because he didn't want rain damage in there.
And just know, guys, just real quick, that God knows when He sees that, that is like, you do not mislead His sheep. You do not, do that to His flock. And I want you guys to know that these pastors who aren't actually pastors, they're just grifters. They got a day coming to them too if they don't start repenting and changing their ways. They have a day coming to them too. He's not going to be like, oh, well, it's okay that you fleeced my flock because you pretended to be Christian. Because if you're pretending to be Christian to fleece the flock, oh my gosh. I mean, it flat out says, some of you are going to get to heaven and I'm going to be like, I didn't know you. You're going to be like, Lord, Lord. And He's like, I don't know you. So to me,
every single one of their congregation is an attempt by God to reach that one person who's doing bad. That's the way I see it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying that
ignoring the
God,
word,
There's a verse that says God can use evil. It's something that someone means for evil, God can use for good.
Yes.
Like you said, to save that one person. But I don't want people thinking, oh, when you see these pastors who are preaching one thing and then they're stealing the tithes, they're doing what Joel Osteen did. I don't want people thinking, oh, well, I guess God doesn't know. Trust me, though, if they don't repent and change their ways, they got a day coming to them too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The false teachers, basically. The wolves wolves in sheep's clothing. The wolves in sheep's clothing have a day coming to them. So, those guys should be repenting and changing their way. That's all I know, and not just using God to make a buck. That's what, is. Anyways, let me just read some of these things. WZ, I had to search this, and 4 presidents have been shot dead, and 3 have been injured. This is including Trump. Yeah, and trust me, all of those are disgusting. It's disgusting. It's all disgusting. And again, it goes into the you have no right.
No, and you look back at the original the original election. How blasé were they about it? You had Johnny Depp go into a rally and say, it's been almost too long since we've had a presidential assassination, making quips and jokes and things like that. You had Madonna saying things of the same nature. And I'm not saying it's all in good fun. I'm not even condoning it. I'm not saying that they don't have the right to say the things that they said. But when you do speak in hyperbole, that you may be speaking in front of somebody who is unhinged and unmedicated, who may go out and take it as 100% not hyperbole, but fact, and go, oh, yeah, he's right. It's been a while since somebody's assassinated a president. Yes, I did do Seth Rogen at that. But the point is that, we've got to move away from that. We've got to become a better version as a society of who we are right now. And this could be an opportunity, as some are calling for, to escalate into something worse than what it is. Or we can now reflect like the day after a big drunk and say, well, we've got to be better. We got to be better than where we were. We have to make better decisions. We've got to pick better friends. We've got to think differently and call for peace with as much passion as other people call for violence.
And Rosales, you brought up an interesting point because, the freedom of speech, we protect all speech, even abhorrent speech. But this is what we need to do. And what I don't think people realize, like, you don't have to silence someone. You can use your voice to, point out their stupidity, point out their error, point out where they're wrong. And that's what people need to do. You can't tell these people to shut up. What you should be doing is saying, you're how foul and disgusting of you to say something like that. What's wrong with you? Call them out. We used to have this thing called shame. You know, you don't have to fire someone to shame someone. And that's what we should be doing. We should be shaming these celebrities for talking like that. We should be calling them out for being disgusting and saying disgusting things. Again, you don't have to call for, you know, okay, go duct tape their mouth and lock it, you know, but you could sure as heck say, wow, what an idiot. You are an idiot. You are disgusting. And we should be speaking out against it. That person is stupid. That person is wrong. You know,
stopped working in 2016.
Well, that's because we stopped using it, but maybe it's time to bring it back.
It stopped being in 2016.
Oh, I love that they say that. Don't. They say that. Oh, shame stop. You know, not shame stop working, but it's because we stopped using it. But you know, if you ever shame someone nowadays, they get all like, oh, how dare you? I'm like, how dare you do such a shameful act? You know, how dare you ruin my lunch with your stupidity? You know, but and then also, you know, don't watch them too. If someone says something, okay, I have a little bit of a, how do I say this? On celebrities, I have a little bit of this thing. I don't want to hear them yammer. So I don't look up their yammering. If they say something stupid, I don't want to know, because if I have to sit there and know that they're a complete moron when I'm watching the movie, that could possibly potentially ruin the movie for me. You know, I remember, what's her name? Angelina Jolie just talked about her backside so much when I was growing up that I just I knew she was a good actress. She was a great actress. I think she's a phenomenal actress, but her mouth is just so obnoxious and annoying. And it was really hard for a little bit. I'm like, wow, I really can't stand the person, but I do like her art, you know? So I try to give some of these, weirdos the benefit of the doubt of going, okay, I don't want to really hear their mouth. But if someone really says something truly, truly egregious, you don't have to watch or buy or any of that stuff. I mean, you don't have to go and say, oh, I want them yeeted out of a movie, but you could just go, I ain't watching that. I ain't doing that. You know? I mean, but I do think it's like kind of weird when people go around and say, but you shouldn't watch it either. I'm like, well, why? I think that's weird. But I do think, hey, boycotting, that's another thing I want to eventually we'll talk about. But boycott things. You can boycott things. That's within your right, is to boycott things. You want to talk out your backside or you want to do something weird? I can take a step away from you. I don't have to give you my money. Like for me, if someone thinks okay, so my little side through my university I went to, they always like to hit me up for like extra money, you know, and they like go, hey, how have you been doing since you graduated? By the way, I'd like some more money. But my thing is, they would repeatedly do stupid things that would embarrass me. Like I'm like going, thanks for cheapening my degree, because if I say I come from this school, they're going to think I'm a nut like you guys. Or they would do things like they get after the conservatives, like on the campus, which I would be like, well, if you don't like me because I'm conservative, then you don't need my money. You don't need extra money from me. And I used to tell them, if you guys, I will give you extra money if you guys, you know, but you guys got to stay out of the news for like a significant amount of time. I'm tired of, you know, being embarrassed about my degree because of where it came from, because you guys won't shut up. You guys won't stop getting after the students. Those students, the conservative students, pay just as much money as the liberal students. If you're taking both their money, so you shouldn't really have an issue. You know, but you don't have to give people extra money. I guess my point is, you don't have to continue to provide for them. If someone's doing, you are allowed. Now, I don't like, and what bothers the heck out of me is when people think boycotts are like, oh, I can do a death threat. I'm like, no, you cannot. That is not a boycott, stupid. That is not a boycott. A boycott is saying, I'm going to use my wallet somewhere else. That is a boycott. You are allowed to boycott. You are allowed to peaceably assemble. You are allowed to use your free speech, talk. You are allowed to verbally challenge people. You know, those are things you can do. Those are things we should do. Because when we do those things, you know, the world doesn't get as crazy as it is here. It doesn't. Okay, so let me go ahead and go back to these comments I see. Thank you, WZ. He says, separate the art from the artist. Yeah, exactly. You can separate the art from the artist. Sometimes you can't, or sometimes there's something the artist is so egregious, then you don't have to support them. You don't have to watch the movies. I'm not going to shame you for not wanting to watch it.
I don't think I would want to give Kevin Spacey any money to get around town. You know,
Yeah,
I don't think I would support Kevin Spacey. Just because of the things that he's done, things that he's been accused of doing, and you know, uh, supporting a project of his would be like supporting a bad habit and giving him money to do that.
exactly. And CWC, like for me, 76 is cool, but dang, she's crazy. And then Jaded, why do you think I'm with her, WZ? Hey, Jaded. It's so hard not to use your nickname sometimes, but I'm trying not to use your nickname because then all you guys in the chat always use the nickname that's my personal nickname for him, because she's crazy.
Yeah, you need to not say that.
She's crazy.
No, that his nickname.
Yeah, it's not an X-rated nickname.
No,
no. But then they like, oh, okay. No, it's not. His nickname.
You don't want to be teased. You don't want him to be teased about it, do you?
Jaded. Possibly after that comment. You just can't behave yourself. You just can't behave yourself, can you? It just would be like, I swear, he can't. He just gotta say things.
At least he didn't call it Tom Dulce.
That's true. That's probably what. Now he's going to start doing that. WZ. Oh, gosh. I got to be me. Yes, I know. That's why I love you. Anyways, back to the angry rant. Where was I at? In the anger. But anyway, so I think we'll start. We've been doing this for, 3 hours. So, thank you guys for coming and listening to us. And, thank you, Rosales, for coming in and helping me out. Because otherwise, I think I probably would have scared off like probably 90% of people who watch. That's our chin fanboy right there. Yes, Michael, it is. But he's mostly mine. So, No, he is not yours, WZ. Swear. See? Okay, anyways. So thank you guys for being, great audience listening and, keeping it lively and, participating and, chatting when I totally did. I'm sorry, guys. I totally didn't see your comments. I literally, when I was doing this, I had checked once. I'm like, okay, I don't have any viewers. So I'm like, okay, this will just be me going on a rant and there'll be nobody there'll be no one in the live chat. I thought it was going to be like one of those things, but then all of a sudden I saw I'm like, oh shoot, all these comments. So appreciate that, guys. It meant a lot. Rosales, what's going on your channel tomorrow? Is that your next stream tomorrow?
Yes. We're going to have a stream tomorrow morning. And we were going to talk about Superman's suit. We were going to talk about the Captain America trailer that just dropped recently, the one with the presidential assassination in it that may no longer be there by the time we do the stream. So we'll see what happens. We normally don't talk politics. We may have to cover this for a moment or two. We're introducing a whammy to our wheel of topics that will try to keep us from going too long. So, it should be a lot of fun.
I was going to say, it's a good thing that, we both got all our ranting out here. So then maybe on tomorrow's stream, there'll be no rant for me. But what would be kind of fun? I don't know if you could do it though. It would be kind of fun if you did your game thing and I don't know, it's probably too short notice, but that'd be fun if you could do like a Trumpisms, and see, is it something that he had said when he did his call Fifi or I don't know. What was it they used to say, the 2 scoops? It would be funny if you could do that, but I think people would already know what they all are.
There's a new game we're going to be playing tomorrow, unless we get whammied, and that's going to be Jackbox TV, I believe is what it is, and we'll be introducing a brand new game. Of course, Gardic Phone is there, and maybe next week we'll be doing Florida Man. So for those, yes, you do. Yeah. And
I did not cheat because I know I was accused of cheating. That is like the only game that I was good at is Florida Man because I know my Florida Man.
Florida Man's fun. Florida Man's a crowd pleaser. So
well, and then to be fair, I was really when I realized I've been thinking about some things like, oh my gosh, Florida is like basically the conservative California. You got Disney, you got your theme parks, You got Disney World, you got the theme parks, you got your good weather, you got your beaches. So for a while there, I was like, I really wish I was in Florida. So that's why I think I ended up going and ending up finding out so much about Florida Man, was just because I was just really into Florida. It was like during the pandemic. That's what it was. It was during the pandemic when we were all locked down and Florida's out and everybody's having a good time in Florida. I'm going, man, I wish I could be in Florida instead of stupid California. I hate being in California. That was like basically my thought process during that time. Especially, not, it's real. Okay. Yeah, we'll save that rant for another day. Anyways, y'all, thank you guys. Take care. And, love you guys. Thank you. And remember, you guys are my fellow Americans. Love you.
God bless.